All right, it's Sunday. It's time for another BS sessions with me, my brother, Jerry Supe. What's up, brother?
What up, man? How you doing, brother? Good to see you again, as usual. Looking forward to talking about this. Interesting to see all the opinions we got today. We are doing what we think are the replacement members that made the band better, or doesn't have to be a personal better, maybe just a success-wise they could be better, that made them better. You don't have to be a fan of that particular band, but some of these bands you can't question the success when they had another member come in. But before we do that, let's introduce our guests. We got Al Horta from the Black Spinner Circle. How you doing, man?
Good, man. How you guys doing?
Doing good. Love that Kiss sign, man. That's killer. You need to light
Thank
that
you.
thing up one time when you're on the show, man, just for us, man. Come
I'll
on,
do
you
it
could
on
do it.
I do it on a night, you know.
Night.
It's
All
it's
right.
one it's 1 o'clock here in Florida. It's hot as hell, and
Oh.
and this thing lets off some serious heat.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna say, yeah.
I think I
Get the
think it'll
swamp
ki
ass.
I think it'll kill me today if I put it on because it's
Right.
pretty warm out. So
Swamp ass.
Right. I do. If you lived in Florida, you understand what swamp ass is, man. You really do. It's,
oh, dude, swamp
but
ass
anyway,
is like it's a regular occurrence here.
it is. Yep. And then we got Tim Durling, author, good friend of the. Look at that. That's a really impressive physical media collection you got back there, man. Really cool. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good, guys. This is where the money goes. See, I've got my own Kiss display, kind of. Got my McFarlane
Yeah.
figures up there.
Ah,
Oh.
I got those
Uh,
too, I think.
I
Yeah.
can't I can't compete with that sign though. That is so cool.
No,
thank
it's
you.
I
pretty
got
cool.
Rufus is here too. He's supervising. Just taking it.
nice.
He's got a hard life.
I
All
got my
right,
Kiss around
so
me. I got the Kiss shot glasses around me right now. Woohoo.
yeah.
Nice.
Oh, right on.
Uh, yeah. Anyway, Mark, we're gonna start with some BS, man. What do you got?
But before we get started with the BS, we have a Fox News correspondent here, Al Horta.
Oh
I
So
knew
yeah,
this.
tell us what
I
that's pretty
happened.
cool.
I knew
Tell
this
us.
was
That's
going to
pretty
come up. I
cool.
knew this was going to
That's
come
pretty
up.
cool.
Well, well, the whole Chris Robinson thing. I saw them last Sunday here in Florida, and as you all know, there was some sort of controversy sparked from that. Uh, so TMZ actually put this story out now, and I gotta say, man, I gotta say honestly, it must have been a slow news week because it's not really that a big of a deal. Like what he, I mean, when I was there and it said what he said, I didn't. It just kind of blew by me, and I didn't really think anything of it, and it didn't bother me. It was like kind of a less than a 1 minute rant. It wasn't like he went off on a 10, 15 minute tangent. He just some people started chanting USA, USA. Now, there was the crow dressed in red, white, and blue. So I guess some people were just showing their pride. You know what I mean? And there was a USA chant. And then he went into his little, like, yeah, I know, you know what he said. So, uh, some people did get up and walk out, though. There were people walking out. So I guess a lot of people were offended by it. It wasn't like it wasn't like half the people walked out of the venue. I think they're blowing it up out of proportion. I didn't see that many people walk out, but so anyway, TMZ puts the story out and the story's blown up. So I get an email from Fox News, a show on Fox News, some Fox News guy. And at first I thought, this is fucking probably bullshit. And I emailed the guy back. I'm like, well, okay, like if you want, you call me and we'll talk on the phone. The guy actually called me, and he's a legit guy. I looked him up and everything. He's a legit Fox, works for Fox News and stuff. So he's like, can we have permission to use your video? We were looking around for a better video clip than the one that TMZ used because the one TMZ used was very distant. It's not very, wasn't very good. And so I'm like, yeah, sure, like no problem. Now this is already like Tuesday, so you know how news cycles go. Once you're going over 24 hours, like
Yeah.
it'll get to be, because people were asking me like, well, you should ask them for money for it. Dude, by that time, the story's already out. It's not like I have an exclusive. It's not like I'm the only one that shot the video.
The
So
scoop.
I, yeah, so I mean, so I just figured like, it'd be kind of good exposure, I guess, for my, they said they were going to give me credit for my channel. So I'm like, all right, that's good enough for me. Go ahead and use it. And lo and behold, they did. There was actually another Fox affiliate reached out to me after that too, and they used They used my video as well. You didn't really see it. It was for a different show. It's a different Fox show. So anyway, like so I don't know. I just thought it was kind of cool, that they
Pretty
wanted to
cool.
use my
Absolutely.
video,
Yeah.
So that's really
Yeah.
it.
That's really cool, man. And then so let's get into after that story because I thought that was really cool to use your video. This month in 2002, Robin Crosby died. So
Ooh,
hail to the king. Uh he's well missed. Even Steven always says rat isn't rat without the king, without Robin.
I yeah,
So
I I
man, go
I
ahead.
agree with that. I think could I make an opinion on that?
Go, yeah,
Well,
sure.
I think if honestly if he was still alive, I think Rat would have been together and because there was a lot after he died, there was a lot of dysfunction in that band. So, he seemed to be the one, and even
The
Stephen
glue.
Piercy's, yeah, Stephen Piercy's even admitted it. He's the one that kind of held everybody together, and you know, so I think like had he still been alive, I think Rat would have been out touring now, and they probably would have made more albums and more music, in my opinion.
Robin was the peacemaker, I heard. He was the one who got everybody to talk to each other.
Yeah, yeah,
And once he started getting on his heroin, he kind of abandoned the band, and that's when they went to shit. I think even Steven says that. He wasn't here, you know.
yeah.
So anybody else gotta say anything about Robin?
I think that Rat is a band that people are looking back at them more and more fondly as the years go by. And it is too bad that we didn't get more music out of them because in my opinion, they didn't do a bad album. They never did an outwardly bad album. I like some more than others, but there's not a lot of albums. I mean, even that collage that they put out in 1997, which is supposedly throwaway tracks, I listen to that all the time. That's got some great stuff on it. So I always thought that of all the bands of that era, I think Rat were just a cut above. It was something very, very
Sure.
special about that band.
Yeah.
And but what a sad story about Robin, how he just deteriorated. And the kind of you're right, the evidence is kind of there. If he'd been around, yeah, you wouldn't have had Stephen and Warren or Stephen and Juan Crochet, or you wouldn't have all these different. You would never have a Rat without Stephen. There, yeah, they'd have at least been touring on a fairly regular basis and probably making more albums.
Yeah. What
I
about you,
agree.
Jerry?
Yeah, I mean, you guys pretty much summed it all up. I mean, we talk about these people, we did a podcast earlier for Freeform. We talked about Janie Lane, how tragic, what he became because of all his personal issues, substance abuse and all that. It's just sad to see these happen to these people, man, that, we grew up, I could say the word idolizing some of them because we did as young people idolize these people. And it's just, you know, realizing that that their problems are I was gonna say everyday people's problems, but they probably had more everyday people's problem than we did. But just it's sad to see the armor come off. Basically, is what I'm going at. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
I
Just it's
think a
just
lot of
tragic.
these I think a lot of
Go ahead.
these musicians had issues of some sort, but
Yeah,
there are some personalities where it just takes a hold of them and they just cannot get out of it. They
like
never get out of it.
yeah.
And I would say that Janie and Robin were
Oh,
two examples, and long before their time too. I think there was more music in those
right.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, Janie, I used to rip on him so much, man. I regret. I used to hate Warrant, man. But the last, couple of decades, I've really learned to appreciate them musically and Janie's voice, man. Nobody could sing a power ballad like Janie Lane, man. So,
What a good
rest in peace to
songwriter.
him.
Like he was such a great
Absolutely.
writer. And you're not, you know what? I didn't care. I didn't like them when they were big.
Yeah.
I never cared for the first two records. I got into them later. I got into Warrant when the third record came out, Dog Eat Dog. I
Dog Eat
said, okay,
Dog.
this is
Yeah.
more like it. This is great. And of course, that came out at a bad time. And but yeah,
Right.
when you go back and listen to those songs, I mean, those aren't your run of the mill. I think he was an above par lyricist. You listen to like Uncle
He's
Tom's
very good.
Cabin or
Yeah.
Mr. Rainmaker. I mean, there's some really, really good stuff.
It was just sad, man. Same thing with Robin Crosby, man. It's just sad to hear people, they can't beat these demons, man. I mean,
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Yeah, man. And then yesterday, I like the show Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so and I like Ted Lasso, he was in there
Oh
also.
yeah.
Anthony Michael Head, he died of pneumonia. He was only 72, man, but he died peacefully. That sucks, man.
Yeah, he was you guys know who his brother is?
Who?
Murray Head,
Oh,
as
Murray
in
Head.
Oh,
One
Oh,
Night in
wow.
Bangkok. Yep.
that's
Oh,
his brother?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's funny, man. I
Oh,
Yeah.
didn't know
wow.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, he was great on Ted Lasso. He was just such an asshole. You just wanted to
yeah.
punch him. And
Yeah.
he played that role. Rupert, his name was.
Yeah.
Well, he played that well. You love to hate him. Um, yeah, what a shame. I remember seeing that. I'm like, well, how old would he have been? So yeah, it's too young.
Yeah, way too young, man. I love Buffy. I love he was the Watcher.
He
He's
was
a
in the
great
movie or
actor.
on a show?
In the show.
On the show. Okay.
Yeah, the movie was cheesy. That's why Josh left the movie because he wanted to make it like the series, but and the movie company made it want it cheesy. So
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
so he finally got to do what he wanted to do on a series, make it dark. Okay, and then happy heavenly birthday to Prince. He would have been 68. And also happy 65th birthday to Slayer vocalist Tom Araya. If I don't like your music, I know you're a cool dude, so happy birthday, man. And plus a lot of your fans are on this show right now.
How old is
uh,
Tom?
65.
65. I thought he'd be
Okay.
older than that.
I thought he'd be
I
older
mean,
too, but no.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, that's around the same age as like the
I guess
Metallica
so.
guys too, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're right.
Yeah, and then this makes me happy. Actor Keith David receives his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. When no one touches another man's fries. I'm just saying
My daughter
Somebody
loves
perfect.
my daughter loves Keith David. I'm like, how the hell do you know Keith David? He voices like some he does
Right.
voices.
Gargoyles.
Yeah, it's things like that. And that's how I'm like, how the hell do you know Keith David?
He has
And
that voice. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
you know who it is.
I
Yeah.
want to show her I want to show her like, well, check out Keith David and Marked for Death or something. You know what I mean?
It,
Steven
it gets
Seagal.
confused. It gets confused with David Keith too. Those two always get confused as far
Just
as the
Yeah.
names.
just watch Minute Work, man. No one touches
Yeah.
another man's prize.
Men at Work is a cool movie, dude.
I
I
love
haven't
Look
that
seen
at
that
here.
in
Somebody
years.
threw away a perfectly good white boy.
That's the best, man.
Yeah.
Oh. No, that was in Better Off Dead.
It was in both of them. They both
Oh,
used
okay,
that.
oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
true. But yeah, Keith David, man, his reaction getting a star was priceless, man. He looks so happy. I love that guy. Yeah, he did voices in Gargoyles for Disney Gargoyles. That was a really good 90s thing. And also he could do comedy, he could do drama, he could do action. The guy is a really well-rounded actor. A lot of times he gets typecast now in military guys, because he's got that look. But I love the guy. And then we get to Snowy White's Pigs on the Wing is being released. What do you
Cool.
guys think about that?
Interesting to hear that when it comes out. I'm actually excited to hear that. So looking forward to it.
Are you
What
buying
do
the record?
Snowy's. I have to listen to it first.
what do you, I didn't hear the story. What is it?
So
Go ahead.
yeah, well, you know what? It's caveat. I'm like the least qualified guy, and people ask me about this all the time because they know that I'm the 8-track guy.
Oh,
But
I know about the
Yeah.
8-track on the animals.
but so but I but
It's yeah.
so
Okay,
but
good.
but I'm not a huge Pink Floyd fan, but I know
Yeah.
enough about it. So there's a compilation coming out, which correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's actually called 8 tracks.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and
Okay,
for
I
the
heard about
first
that.
time,
Okay.
it's restoring those however many seconds of Snowy solo. So that will
Oh,
be
okay. All
readily
right.
available. You won't have to try and find an old 8-track player, clean it out and oil it and everything to hear that bit of music. So I would imagine for Pink Floyd fans, this is a pretty big deal
Yeah.
because
That's
I
the
mean, this
bait.
is
It is.
That's the bait to get them to buy that. Definitely.
It didn't work. It didn't work with Roger's Dark Side of the Moon, though. Holy crap, that
Oh,
was
No,
terrible.
no, not that. But including
Yeah.
that on this compilation. Yeah, it's. I mean,
Yeah.
in all honesty, now that I know that, I'll probably get it because I've always wanted a
Right.
digital version of that song, you
Well,
know.
Nice.
Yeah.
it's crazy to me that it's only just coming out because most things by, major rock bands get reissued, but there are a few things that are still kind of like, come on, where is it?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
True. You could see it on YouTube, but it's not as clean. It's probably take it from the 8 track.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this version will be cleaned up and mastered, so this will be awesome. I
Well, the thing
now
that surprises me is that when they came out with that Animals box set, that they didn't put it on there.
That's what me
That's
and
the
Jerry
thing
were
Yeah.
that
saying.
that's
Yeah.
that's the thing that gets me. I'm like, dude, you have this deluxe box set that costs like fuck a couple $100, and you can't include the one song on it, like the
Right.
one thing on there. It's amazes me, dude. But finally, I guess somebody was like, hey, let's put out a compilation, make that part of it.
More money.
Fucking
Ring that towel. Ring
you got to ring
everybody's
that
towel.
towel,
All that
bro.
money.
You got to have that hook, man. You got to
and
have that
like,
hook.
and if you're a big enough fan, guess what?
You're gonna
You're
buy
gonna
it.
grit your teeth and buy it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then I forgot to say happy birthday to Ronnie Wood. He's 79 years old this week. He's
He's
the
the
baby.
youngster in the
The
He's the
baby of
I
the
was
baby
gonna
of the
say,
band.
I
band.
thought he would be. I thought he would be older.
Yeah, he's the baby
79.
stone.
Yeah.
He looked his age like he did in the 70s. He still looks this,
He's
There are
finally caught up.
some,
He's finally caught up to his.
he
Yeah.
probably got up to his age.
there are some guys for some reason who never looked young even when they were.
Yeah, him
Right.
and Rod Stewart.
Neil Young, Willie
Yeah,
Nelson.
Dude,
true, man.
when I was 9 years old in 1981, and I saw the Start Me Up video on MTV. I mean, I'm 9 years old, so I'm gonna think those guys look like they're elderly, but they were what, in their 30s then,
Yeah.
dude.
Okay, this is my story about that. In '89, when they came out with Steel Wheels and they were going on tour, and it was a story because they hadn't been getting along. I remember I was in grade 10, so I would have been 15. And the whole thing around school was like, what was it? Mixed Emotions. That was the
Yeah,
song that was out
yeah,
on the radio.
yep.
Everybody's like, oh, they're so old, they're so old. So Mick and Keith would have been 46, and that's 5 years younger than I am now. I'm not old, so it's just the perception of it changes over time. No one ever thought that this would be. You just didn't think about it. No one thought they'd be doing it 40 years later.
Yeah.
This is the bench. They set the benchmark of like the age of like how old a band can still keep going, I guess. You
Yeah.
know.
They
Well,
made fun of that actually on the movie Almost Famous. That one line where Jimmy Fallon's like, "If you think Mick Jagger is going to be in his 40s going up there doing like this, you're crazy."
well, he said that
And
himself. He's like, you think I
Yeah.
want to be doing this? I'm 40. I'd rather be dead.
I could see Cheap Trick going long.
Yeah.
Not doing stadiums, but I could see them like doing sheds and
they'll
And
play
still
anywhere.
and
They'll play
and
anywhere.
and still putting out albums.
still putting out
Yeah.
albums. Well, the Rolling Stones, unfortunately, are still putting out albums.
I thought their last album was pretty good though, man.
The Hackney
I didn't hate it.
Diamonds.
Yeah.
It just
I
sounded
got some good songs on
overproduced
it.
to me. That's about it. I want a more raw sound. I like the raw, like old.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of what's his name that produced it.
The guy from the guitar player. God damn.
That did Ozzy too.
Oh, Andrew Watt.
Andrew
Yeah,
Watt. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of his production style, but I mean, I thought the songs though were pretty good, like on the last Stones album.
Well, I
So-
did like Patient 13, so I did like that album. There's a lot more rock in the guitar playing. The guest guitar players are pretty cool. Jeff Beck's last guitar solo, right? He died right after that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And I did see Andrew Watt when he had that band California Breed with
Right.
I saw them in New Jersey. I saw
Glenn
the
Hughes.
one rare tour that they did.
Yeah,
the short-lived.
That one album is amazing. It's like I thought Andrew Watt was going to be like that, and I go, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
He even cut
So-
his hair. He had long hair in there. Now
Yeah.
he's all short. Looks like what's that Machine Gun Kelly shit? I don't
Oh,
know.
Yeah. God.
All right, man. So happy birthday to him. This is for Doctor Who fans. We'll move on. Russell T Davies, Doctor Who announcement coming within 2 weeks about maybe who the new Doctor is. Because our Doctor Who episode did what? So this is for the Doctor Who nerds if you stayed this long.
Exterminate. Exterminate. I used to love that show in the 70s, man. My brother
Oh,
and I used to watch it all the time. The older show, like the one from the 70s.
yeah.
The dude
Tom
from
Tom
Baker.
Sharp.
Baker. Tom
The
Baker.
Yeah, that one, man. I love
That's where
that.
I
I
got
love
it.
that.
And then the
Yeah.
sci-fi brought it back, and it was amazing. It was like
Yeah.
it's gone a little wonky, like timey-wimey the last few seasons, but I think it'll
Yeah.
get back to where it's supposed to go. But I love that show. Me and Joseph, that was our dream episode to do, so we did that last week. Not
Oh,
doing
That
too
was an
cool.
easy
bad.
show. That was an easy show for me to do. I just went
Yeah.
like this, listened. I didn't know nothing about the show. And I'm not going to watch 55 seasons of it to catch up. Sorry, that's just
We
way
only
too
we
much.
only
It
told
really
you to watch
is.
from the new era with
It's still,
Eccleston.
man, it was just way too much for me to
Yeah, I would
watch.
I would have only known the 70. I never
Yeah.
watched any other incarnation
Ooh.
besides that the one with Baker,
If you
So
have if
Yeah.
you have AMC Plus, Doctor Who's going to start showing on there the newer Doctors. Check it out. Eccleston's good. He is only one season, and then David Tennant came in. Great, great actors. The girl who plays I forgot her name, but Amy Pond. She was in Guardians of the Galaxy. She's
oh
great actors in
yeah.
those shows. But
Yeah, I usually don't like calling it or phoning it in doing a show, but that show I could
it
that
was okay,
was
Jerry.
yeah.
We liked you being there. You gave us comic relief.
But I think I asked two more questions than you guys did, or talked more
Yeah,
than you guys
you
did.
did.
That's the amazing part about it. Yeah.
And then
I was drunk too.
Charlie Benante says he could write dime riffs and make new Pantera music.
Oh
Please
no,
no.
God, no.
Please no. No. I mean, do something with if you want to do something with that band, call it something else. If you're gonna put out music, it's not
Yeah,
Pantera though, dude. It's not. You cannot have a Pantera album without the Abbott brothers, man. There's no fucking
I
way.
agree.
Go out and tour the Pantera legacy like Zach or the Pantera celebration, like Zach likes to call it. But no, the music wise, do like Thin Lizzy did. Just
Stick
call
with
it a
Ant.
new.
Yeah, stick with Anthrax, man. I like their first single off their new album, so let's just
But
stick with them.
that goes to show you what his prior dude, Anthrax is his main band, but that just goes to show you that money, he goes where the money's at, bro.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Sorry, Charlie.
Sorry, Charlie.
Sorry, Charlie.
Chicken
But
of the
I
sea.
wonder what Zach Wilde would think about that. I don't think he would want to step on his brother
I don't know
dying.
if it, I don't even know if Zach would want to be on board, but who knows?
Money.
Yeah. Zach seems to be doing well on his own, playing two shows a night.
That's true. He
I
is.
love that last
Yeah.
BLS album that you just
I
put
do, I
out.
do
It's great.
too. That's great. I'm playing the shit out of that on my radio show. I love it.
Yeah.
But Charlie's also tired of hearing so much shit about the band's set list choices. With 11 studio albums under their belt and another arriving in September, Anthrax has no shortage of metal material to fill up their concerts. Still, the band's song choices have become divisive topic among fans.
Yeah,
He's getting pissed
whatever.
off at them bitching about their set list. Why even say
Everybody
that out
needs.
loud? Why even say that out loud? You're like alienating your fans. Just say we heard you. We'll might throw a deep track here and there. Be more. This band needs as much help as they can to get do things. I don't think they could sell out arenas anymore. That's why they're out with Iron Maiden and Megadeth.
Uh,
So I don't know. I think he's being a dick. What do you guys think?
He's
I
being Charlie.
end
I
up
think
being.
that I think that a lot of the news sources take a little tiny quote and make that the whole story and it blows up out of proportion. I think that happens a lot. And clickbait. That's what I
Yeah.
think.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying
Like the Roger Waters thing with Ozzy. Yeah, the timing of that was bad, but if you listen to the whole interview, and he said a million times before he did not like Black Sabbath. You know what I mean? It isn't like it's something new.
well,
But yeah,
yeah,
it was
and
that scene where I don't care if Ozzy's dead. That's the only part you heard. You know what I mean? It was, yeah, the timing was bad, but still, it wasn't. It was Roger being Roger.
I
You know?
I just it's like this last thing where you had we were talking about well before we went on we were talking about the Triumph tour which I saw and I thought it was fantastic.
I saw it too.
Rick and Gil were on Eddie Trunk and they were big update about Mike Levine's health. There was no update. He's not well. They didn't say what it was. There was no big
Mm,
update.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to have to come up with stories. Let's put it that way, because you are
right.
having to you'll come up. What I notice is that with like Blabbermouth, especially, they'll come up with one semi-new nugget of information, and then the rest is just
Yep.
the paste,
Backstory,
the
The
paste
same
of
the backstory, why how
yeah,
it got to that point. And it's like,
yeah.
okay,
yeah, the
So
I
same
get that.
regurgitated info.
I
Yeah.
will say this, and I'm reminded of it for a couple of reasons. Al's got that cool Rush shirt on, and I think as we're filming this tonight, the opening night
Yeah,
of the tour.
I'm trying to forget about that. It's in LA. So
Oh, dude,
Oh,
that
please,
sucks.
you're hurting
okay.
my feelings right now.
No, no,
Dude,
no.
dude,
It's not about
hold
that.
on,
It's not
Tim.
about
Hold on,
that.
Tim. Hold on, Tim. Mark, keep an eye on fucking StubHub, man. You might go to one of the shows,
Yeah, but
man.
I'm working the next few days, so this would be the only day I could have went. So, but
So keep an
So
eye on it. What time is it in LA right now, or where you're at?
10:28. Yeah,
Oh,
but I have a dinner tonight, so I can't go tonight. So,
Well,
okay.
I didn't mean to stir that up, but I just wanted to, I was thinking about how unfortunate, how sad it is that Michael Mossbach, who was Neil's
Yeah.
motorcycle riding partner, he's got the same brain cancer that Neil had now.
oh wow.
And
Were
his
they
brother
around
had it
still?
too, right? Didn't Neil's
Yes,
brother have it?
yes, and the
It's
same.
yeah,
It's
it's
Some
insane,
toxic
man.
drum heads? I don't know.
it's weird, man. Like
Yeah.
yeah. Actually, Al, it's funny you have that shirt. I just realized what all that shirt was. I have
The Rush
Oh,
beer.
nice.
somebody sent that to me. I didn't know. I'm not going to open it. Some I don't drink, but
Yeah.
I keep it up here on my. Actually, I've got this too. I don't know if it's probably not worth anything, but it's a deck of cards.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
I got
Um.
the 80s Rush bobbleheads behind me.
Oh, right on, right
Yeah,
on.
their 80s look.
My kids and I saw a pretty decent Rush tribute a few weeks ago. I did an episode about that. They're called Infinity Rush. They're actually from Vegas, but they came up our way.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
How were they?
Is
Good.
They were good. Yeah. Quite a bit cheaper than the real thing, but I interviewed the singer and the bass player, Dando, earlier, and I said, I think the fact that Rush are back together, it's going to help bands like you, because not everybody's going to be able to afford and not everybody's going to want to travel. And if they find out that you're playing close, hey, let's go see them.
I think
true.
the best Rush tribute band I've seen so far, or at least my favorite, the one I've seen Lotus Land, and they're great.
Yeah,
You know, I
yeah.
think Lotus Land is great. I've seen uh um Why Not, which throws the annual Bubba Bash in Pennsylvania. I went to the first Bubba Bash, which celebrates Neil Peart. So the first one, Mike Portnoy was there, and from Anthrax, God, now the bass player,
Oh, Frank Bello.
Frank
Frank
Bello.
Bello. Frank Bello was there, and it was great. Like all, Why Not was the band that hosted it, so they were the main. But then these guys would come up and like jam with them and do different songs and stuff. And they've had it every year since 2023, which was the first year I saw it. And then now that I moved down here to Florida, I can't. They only do one show, and the benefit show is always at this same theater in Pennsylvania. So I didn't travel up there for the other ones, but I did see the first one, and it was great. And they're really good too. The thing with them is that they actually have done original music as well. And
Oh,
yeah, they've done original music as well. So like they'll throw one or two original songs into the set, like just to kind of promote their original stuff. But I mean, at heart, they are a Rush tribute band. And I gotta tell you, that bass player, he's got Getty sound down like really, really, really good, So, but Michael Mosbach was at that first one that I went to. He was also there as well. But it's sad to hear about his situation now.
oh,
You know,
it's tragic, and it's just such a cruel, not even irony, but it's just so cruel that this disease is,
yeah.
it's invaded
It.
Neil's world.
I know. His brother and now him. It
Yeah.
sucks, man. Yeah.
Sad, man. But Michael Hampton's going to the Rush show tonight in Rock and Metal Combat podcast page, guy. I'm excited
Dude,
for him.
I'm like, just real quick, man. I'm not one of those that I want to. I don't want to know the set list and everything, but damn, I'm not going to see them till November. It's going to be impossible for me to like not
Yeah.
know what the hell they're playing. But they are saying that they're going to be switching up set lists, so
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. Like I think they're, and this is the first time they're really, really going to be. I mean, they have switched up songs in the past, maybe two, three songs the most, but now it seems like there's going to be more in the mix. So I think that's kind of cool that they're going to be doing that. So. It's gonna get dude, tomorrow on social media, tonight, you're gonna see everything in your feed, like
Yeah.
rush, 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 dude. It's gonna be insane,
And that's
so
awesome.
yeah,
I see
yeah,
Rush in my feed. It makes me happy.
The
But
only thing I
yeah.
don't do is read the comments because,
yeah,
man, there's so much. Sometimes fans of a band are the worst. Like it's like we
Oh,
eat our own.
absolutely.
It's like we eat
Yeah.
our own. Like, it's like it doesn't sound like you like this band very much.
yeah.
You can't have a pleasant discourse about anything with some
Yeah,
people.
All
yeah.
right, man. So let's move on to movie and television news. Zack Snyder directing a new remake of Kurt Russell's 45-year-old classic, Escape from New York. Uh,
Oh no,
uh, I like Zack Snyder, but
no, don't fucking remake that movie,
but
man.
but Kurt
Please.
it's Kurt Russell. You can't remake any Kurt Russell movie. I'm sorry. If they did Big Trouble Little China, I'd be blowing my head up right now. Now they're doing one of my all-time favorites. I think they're
Yeah.
doing the thing. I think the thing is coming back again, but that was
No,
already a remake of a remake, so I
Yeah.
don't know, man. We got Al's thoughts on that one.
no, dude. Escape from New York is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Yeah.
Um, here's the story. I think I've told this before, but before I moved down to New Jersey, the company that I worked for was called Van Cleef Engineering,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And my boss, who's in his 80s, the owner of the company, his uncle was Lee Van Cleef,
Oh,
dude.
wow.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the fact that I worked for like his nephew and like the good, the bad, and the ugly, all the spaghetti westerns, um, Escape from New York had Lee Van Cleef in it. I was like, I can't even fucking believe I'm working for this guy. You know what I mean? Like, but I never went and like bothered him about it because I didn't know, I never really picked his brain because I didn't know how he felt about his uncle. Maybe his uncle's an asshole or something. I didn't know that. So
Yeah.
I never really went up to him and be like, dude, your uncle's fucking Lee Van Cleef's one of my favorite. I never did the whole fanboy thing with him. But just to know that I was working for his nephew and that the lineage was to Lee Van Cleef it blew my mind, bro. I was
Here's
like, wow.
here's
You know
something that you have to have been of a certain age. Do you know how I know that name, Lee Van Cleef?
how?
You guys remember the very, very short-lived TV show called The Master?
No,
No.
I don't remember that.
Oh, well, okay. Swing and a miss. So in the early to mid 80s, there was a bunch of like ninja movies that were popular. You remember like
Okay.
Enter the Ninja,
Yes,
Revenge of the
yes,
Ninja,
yes.
and I mean I was way into G.I. Joe and there were ninja characters, Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, but I think summer of 84, it didn't last very long. There was a TV series called The Master, and Lee Van Cleef was the master, and his
Oh, wow.
apprentice
Okay.
was, I want to say it was Timothy Van Patten. And it probably was a terrible show, but I liked anything with ninjas in it at the time. So anyway, that's how I know that name of. It's a
Oh, okay.
strange, it was a long, long ass way to get there, but very obscure. But that's
Yeah,
me.
yeah. I need to like kind of, I'm curious now of that show.
I think I seen it. It's kind of dark.
Kind of, yeah. I
Kind of
just liked
dark.
anything with,
Uh,
throwing stars and
Oh,
nunchucks and
dude, I was a big, when I was growing up, there used to be Kung Fu theater like in the Saturday mornings, on TV, like where I was from, where
Yeah.
I lived in New Jersey. And they used to always show like those obscure like Kung Fu movies and ninja movies and all that. So I love that stuff, man.
what was the
You
other
With the
know.
lip
one? Oh, that
syncing,
show.
with the lips or the audios being
Yeah.
off.
Oh
That was
yeah,
cool.
it's like, you're talking and
Yeah.
What
like
was
a
the
half
other
a
one?
minute,
Classic.
half a
The
minute
one
later.
classic.
What was the one
Classic.
with Chuck Norris? The
Into the
Octagon.
Dragon.
The Octagon. That
Okay.
was another one we used to,
Yeah,
much of us
yeah.
used to watch. Probably rented on beta.
Yeah.
Beta. So what do you think about the remake of
You
Escape
got
from
my
New York,
thoughts
Jerry?
already.
Jerry?
You know what?
I'm trying to pretend you said it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Well, I like Zack Snyder. He's a good director. I think he does good stuff if the movie company leaves him alone. Any thoughts on Escape from New York, Tim?
You know what? I disappoint people on a regular basis. I'm not a movie buff and I've never seen
Yeah.
any of those movies. Like if I've
It's a
seen a
great
movie,
movie. Yeah.
it's just by chance. I and as I've gotten older, I'm even worse. I can't even sit down and watch a TV show. Just don't have my
Oh,
yeah.
I used to have the fucking hots for Adrienne Barbeau, man. She was
yeah.
Oh my God,
gorgeous back
yes.
in that movie.
Swamp
She
Thing,
was
man.
hot.
Remember Swamp
Yeah,
Thing?
Swamp Thing. Yeah.
Oh, Swamp Thing. She was hot in that movie. But so that and then I get to something I don't think Jerry likes the show, but it kind of pissed me off. Amazon canceled its upcoming new Stargate series because, and this is not a joke, they thought fans of Stargate would like it and they want a different audience.
That's not the dumbest thing I think I've ever heard in
Wait,
my life, but
what?
They thought fans of the original Stargate would like it, but they want a different audience. They didn't want the fans of Stargate. They wanted to create a whole new audience.
Okay.
why not come up with something that keeps your old audience and try to get new people to come in? Why not try that route? You know, that
I don't
makes
know,
no
but there's a
sense.
petition going on with Michael Shanks, and it's getting pretty and people are doing thing on social media telling Amazon off. They shouldn't have done that. Michael Shanks is awesome. He played Daniel on the show, by the way.
Mm.
So he was
He,
in the movie. It was done by what's that guy? Ultron, Dave Spader. He
Oh
did
yeah,
that.
yeah.
James,
James Spader.
yeah, James
Yeah.
Spader did that. But it's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard a production
Dumb.
company say.
That's moronic, actually.
Well,
You
yeah,
didn't
it's
want.
one of those things that you read and you go that, and you read it again. You're like, that can't be right. No,
Right?
that's what it said.
That's what it
That's got
said,
to be
and
a
this
typo.
it
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
and this is not a joke because it sounds like a joke.
Right.
It sounds like something you would see on the Onion or something like that. It's like
Yeah, it's like, where's the news source? Yeah, like
I guess life is starting to imitate Mad Magazine.
Pretty much.
Oh shit! But I thought that was funny, and then this is something we all knew. Sammy Hagar admits the 2026 UK tour itinerary was revised after he couldn't sell out originally announced shows.
I'll give him credit. He was honest about it. He didn't make
that's
up any
right.
excuse
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
we didn't, we
Same
just didn't
here.
sell. So good for him. Yeah.
A lot of bands will say, "Well, we decided not to." Blah blah. But no, you couldn't sell
Right.
tickets, and there's no
yeah.
shame in that.
Exactly.
People, not
Yeah.
everybody's got enough money. Doesn't mean you don't have fans that want to go to the shows, but it could just mean that they cost. It just costs
Yeah.
too much, fuel and catering and all of that shit.
Yep.
And then
He was never big over there anyway to begin with,
Well,
you know.
yes and no.
In the capital years he was, right?
Yeah, he was much bigger over there in the capital years than he
Yeah.
was in the States, but
Yeah.
I don't think Van Halen was not the international band everybody
no, they
thinks
weren't.
they were. You know what I mean? They were a big band, no
Because
question,
they had to
but
play with Bon Jovi there.
Yeah.
exactly, and I think a lot of people were surprised by that. But it's like, well, if you never leave the continent, you're not gonna, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why some of these bands like Deep Purple, they go into these out of the way places, and it's like, yeah, they might not be a huge band, but they can play all over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad he admitted it, but I know some people are going to make fun of it, but at least he admitted it.
Sammy can't do anything without a certain segment of the Lunatic Fringe coming out. I've noticed that.
Yeah. It's true. I put up a thing and I get Sammy sucks. I love Sammy. Sammy sucks. I love Sammy.
Yep.
I go, I just put up a song. Tell me what you think of the song.
Yep.
It's
No,
like,
and that's what I don't understand. Believe me, I somebody that wrote a book about his music. I would get this all the time. It's not that they don't like the music, they don't like him. Like it's personal, and it's like why? Why is it so why are you so mad? What did he do to you personally on a personal level? Like,
show me
you
where he
know,
touched you.
You came over
exactly.
and
Yeah.
kicked my
Show,
dog,
yeah.
damn it. You came over
Show
and kicked my
here.
dog, all right?
Show here on the pop figurine where yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Red Beach says David Coverdale tried to continue Whitesnake with the new singer, but no one wanted it.
I wouldn't
That'd
want
be
it.
foolish. Yeah.
It's not
Whitesnake is him, dude. It's
yeah.
Yeah.
And to be quite honest, he should have stopped sooner than he did.
Mm.
And
I
I'm a
like the
fan.
last studio
I'm a
album he
fan.
did.
Me too. Me too. But touring, I saw him in 2018 and I enjoyed it only because look, there's David
Hmm.
Coverdale. He's doing the mic stand thing. He's the master of ceremonies. Couldn't sing to save his life. It was and you know, especially if you like crying in the rain where those parts where the band's
Mhm.
not playing and it's just him. It was painfully obvious. Um, so yeah, it happens to everybody.
Yeah. And then
Some some sooner than others,
yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
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 And Glenn Hughes could still sing. It's like, wow. And he was
Yeah.
a huge drug pharmacy.
Yeah, it's
I
a
mean,
wonder. It's a wonder he's still
go ahead.
alive.
Sorry.
Never mind
Yeah.
able to.
Right.
He still got the pipes. But yeah, some people are just they just
Yeah.
They're built differently.
yeah.
So
And I'm not a Hagar Van Halen fan, but I'll be the first one to admit Hagar sounds 100% better than Dave does now. So,
Oh, Dave is
yeah,
just, yeah, it's
yeah, it's bad.
you're
Yeah.
killing me, Dave.
Forget about it, Dave.
Forget about it, Dave. Yeah. And then Florida news. I'm sorry, Al. This always happens,
I
but
live there.
this one is a kick-ass Florida story. So this lady goes in and pretends to be one of those sample givers. She's giving out
oh yeah, I heard this
ketchup
story.
cups full of tequila, and
Yeah.
she's paired the tequila with items there, like she's at Costco, and everybody's like saying party, and the manager goes, "What's going on over there?" Everybody's like say party, party. And then they drag her out, and she goes, "One more shot," and she's going out. I
Oh,
thought
it's tequila.
Was it Cabo?
Yeah, really. Yeah.
it was in Tampa, man. It's like, damn.
I know it was
I
right
lived in
here.
Florida.
It was
Yeah.
right here by
Yeah.
me, man. I didn't hear like I was
Yeah.
like, damn, I should have went to that.
I
That was
lived in
fun.
Florida. Florida has got its share of weirdos, but you know what? I would move back there in a heartbeat if I could. I loved it there. I really did.
And
Come
it
on,
and
brother. Come on, man. We can go to shows together and shit.
I get to meet everybody. That's tempting right there. Just that. I want to tell my wife. I'm hanging out with Al all the time, man.
oh man. And then even a customer thought, he said, I honestly thought Costco was just evolving.
That's a great quote.
You know what's funny, dude, is after this show, I'm probably gonna run. I have to go to Costco for something. So
Oh man.
The Costco Wabo.
the Costco Avo.
You go there once, you be there twice.
Yeah.
I thought this was funny. A man who robbed a bank because he'd rather be in jail than live with his wife was later sentenced to 6 months of house arrest.
Rest. Yeah. I think that's an old one, ain't it? I think I've heard that one
I don't know. I
before.
never heard that, but I thought it was
Yeah.
funny. And then
Funny. Yeah.
Jerry, there's stories of that all over the world, bro.
yeah.
True. Hey, I know it. Is my wife around? Nope. Okay, good.
It didn't
Not
say
around.
where
Okay.
he lived on that one, but Ace Frehley's iconic Gibson Les Paul sells for 512,000 at auction. Number one Budokan 1975 triple pickup. What do you guys think of that?
Well,
Oh, those old. He's gone. The value of it goes up, and it's gonna happen, man. You know,
Has his
if I was a millionaire, I would bid
there's
on it.
somebody
Absolutely.
with deep pockets. That's a huge
Yeah.
kiss, man. It's only worth as much as you want, as much as you
True.
want it to be
That's
worth.
right.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
want it that bad and you have the money, you're gonna buy it. By the way, this kiss sign, anybody want to buy it for 100 grand?
A kiss.
Any Kiss fans out
Yeah.
there?
Yeah. I'd like to ask you people a question.
Let me ask you
It's from
people
the
some
movie Spinning
questions.
Gold.
Oh my God.
All right, 10
People.
grand.
But I'm going, I hope this money's going to his daughter because she's trying to pay off his debts. So
You know, one
it's-
thing I don't miss hearing about is that whack job of an ex there that Ace said that Gene
Oh.
Paul
oh,
had
she's still
murdered or
talking.
whatever.
Rachel
She's
Gordon?
still,
Oh, my-
she's
Still
still talking.
talks. Yeah.
yeah.
Rachel
Doesn't come up
Gordon?
in my feed anymore. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody blocked her. But and then Andrew Freeman on his work with former bandmates and Last in Line. I did more work on those records than any of those guys did. Because I guess he left the band. They said because he wasn't into it, so they kicked him out. I guess he sour grapes.
Yeah.
I like the first Last in Line album. The next one was like, so. But I love his voice. I think he could do something else. And he didn't want to sound like Dio. He told him that, but he's out playing Dio tribute shows.
Yeah, that's the thing that's funny. He's in another Dio thing now, right?
Right? He's in
Yeah.
a Dio tribute
Whereas if he'd have shut up, he'd at least be in a Dio tribute with with some actual.
members.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And in the last story, I say this for last. Jesus and the Mary Chains, William Reed says Eddie Van Halen was one of the worst guitar players in the world. Said he viewed him as the problem because nobody plays scales. Why is he playing scales? I go, dude, your band fucking sucks. I've heard that
yeah.
shit. And I like goth. That is horrible goth. You ain't the Cure. Go away.
You know what? I thought when me and my friend were watching a Journey video, and he goes, "You know what? Fucking Neil Sean just sucks as a guitar player." I thought that was the dumbest thing I ever heard, but this guy kind of
Topped it.
took it as the dumbest thing I ever heard. Yeah, the fuck, man.
Neil Sean may be a lot of things, but a bad guitar player he's not.
No.
Yeah, but
Um,
this guy's going off on Eddie. Is it
You
just to
know what
get
it
press?
is?
Yeah,
You know what? You go off on somebody that's way more popular than you're going to get some, and that's all it is. It's a sad little man. You know,
he got his
I
he wanted
think,
his name in the
yeah,
news.
I think I heard one song by that band, and yeah,
I
it
couldn't name
sucked.
one. I couldn't name one.
I think it was called Just Like Candy, and it just sounded like noise to me.
Oh, it's horrible, dude. It's horrible. All right.
Listen, one quick thing on that. Well, listen, I'm all for people having their own opinions and stuff like that, but that just reeks of like, getting your name in the news and
Yeah,
just
desperation.
I
desperation,
mean,
dude.
Is
was
his
he
band
asked
on
something or
tour?
he just
And real quick, he was saying all he does is play a million miles an hour and all that shit. You know nothing about Eddie,
No,
bro. You know
no.
nothing about
right?
him. So
How was he even brought up? Did he just do a press conference and just said, "Hey, Van Halen
I
sucks," or was
guess
it an
they asked him
interview?
maybe his
Or
favorites. I don't know.
I mean, he'll yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
just I don't know, just
I
dumb.
read the article, so he kept it up. So he it wasn't just clickbait. It was true on
Oh,
that one.
okay.
And then pop culture anniversaries real quick. Marilyn Monroe's 100th birthday. Sergeant Pepper's turns 59. Muhammad Ali's passing 10 years ago. The NBA's 80th anniversary. Ferris Bueller turns 40. Raiders of the Lost Ark turning 45. And Miles Davis centennial birthday.
Hmm.
So
Cool.
that's the pop
Wow,
culture.
Miles Davis would have been 100, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Same thing with Marilyn
Marilyn
Monroe.
Monroe. Yeah.
It's like,
And
damn.
Marilyn Monroe, yeah. The most iconic, probably, woman ever,
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
All right, Jerry, let's do it, man.
All right, we're gonna be doing our top 11 replacement bands or members that made either bands better or more successful, or however you want to view it is fine with me. So let's get started with the first three: 11, 10, 9. Tim, why don't you go start out with the first three, man?
Okay, mine aren't really in order, but I'm gonna fire them off anyway. My number 11 is not a name that people talk about a lot, but I really like the two albums he did with this band. Key Marcello or Marcello
Oh
hmm.
yeah,
from Europe.
Europe.
He replaced John Norum. I think as soon as the Final Countdown album came out, or very soon after, and
He's
he
on
did
Out of
the
This World. I
yeah,
think his first
he did the
album.
Final Countdown tour. He did so in between the Final Countdown video and then the next video, Rock the Night, they have a different guitar player. And yeah, he played on Out of This World and he played on 1991's criminally overlooked Prisoners in Paradise, which has died a quick death in North America. And then John Norm, well, then the band kind of went on hiatus. Then they got back together with the original, well, not the original lineup, but the best known lineup. But yeah, I think he was a perfectly good replacement and could shred. And his solo in Superstitious is one of my favorite guitar solos of all time. So that's my number 11. Um, Number 10, Rufus Taylor in the Darkness. I'm a huge fan of that band. I'm a huge supporter of them. Sadly, they're really only known for their one song in the first album in North America, and some people look at them as a novelty. I think they're a fantastic rock band with a great sense of humor. But yeah, Rufus Taylor replaced, well, their original drummer Ed Graham left, then briefly replaced by Emily Dolan Davies for one album, but she left, and so they got Roger Taylor's son, which is it kind of makes perfect sense because they're like the heir apparent to the Queen throne. They're not a ripoff, but there's that sense of humor and there's that crazy arrangement style, and so yeah, he just does a fantastic job, I think. And my number 9 is going to be Jason Newsted, or Jason Newkid. I thought he was, I mean, I certainly wasn't following Metallica in '86, but uh, he's, I've always got the impression from Jason that he's kind of one of us. He's a fan that just that worked really hard and was lucky and was in the right place at the right time. And he was always such a champion for not just Metallica, but for metal music in general. Um, and yeah, my regret about Jason is I really liked the Newsted EP and album that he came out with in 2013. I thought
Yeah.
those were both really, really
Yeah,
good.
great.
They were good.
I wish that had continued, but as a replacement member, yeah, Jason Newsted, definitely. So that's my first three.
Okay. Al, what do you got?
Just before I go into my list, so these are I went with the mindset where I really picked replacement members that actually made the band better. Like, that was my mindset on this. So so there's gonna be like there's probably gonna be obvious choices that are probably left out, but I feel these choices that I did actually improved the band. So, and there's going to be some choices where like some people might scratch their head, like, really? Like, but I'll go into it as I say it. So, my number 11 is going to be James LaBrie of Dream Theater. He
That's a good
replaced
one.
Charlie Dominici from the first album. Much better vocalist, in my opinion. And then Dream Theater really starts with Images and Words. Really, that's when because they had One Dream and Day Unite before that with Charlie Dominici as a first vocalist, and that was their first official release. So he was on one album. James LaBrie comes in on the second one, Images and Words, and they take off from there. And I think he really improved the band vocally. And he probably had maybe a little bit of influence stylistically as well, from where he came from. But anyway, that's my number 11. This next one might be, some people might not even know this. So my next one is Andy Summers of the Police. Now, the Police had a single out with Henry Padavani on guitar. So they originally Andy Summers was not in the band, and there was an official release with Henry Padavani on guitar. Now, oh, big deal, it's a single, but it's an official release. I'm not talking about for my criteria, you have to have an official release out, and then a replacement has to come in. I know Judas Priest has like a vocalist that was before Rob Halford, but they never did anything with him officially released. So Rob Halford to me is the first vocalist on the first album. That's an example. But the Police did put out a single with Henry Padavani on guitar. Andy Summers comes in, and the Police becomes the Police for the better, in my opinion.
I never knew that.
Yeah, there's a single
Fallout, wasn't it?
Yeah, Fallout and Nothing Achieving was the B side. That was it's a very punk rockish song.
Very punk
rock. Yeah. Because at that time punk rock was big. And ironically, this past Friday I went to go see Stuart Copeland do a speaking show, which was great, man.
Yeah,
he was awesome. He was funny, and he told stories. And funny enough, he didn't even mention Henry Padavani. He just mentions meeting Andy Summers and him and Sting coming together. He actually didn't even mention Henry, but I don't know if there's some sort of like, maybe he just didn't want to bring it up or something. I don't know. Anyway, there was an official release, so Andy Summers coming in makes the Police the Police. So, and this next one is also going to be really. Yeah, AC/DC actually had a singer before Bon Scott called Dave Evans, and he was on a single that was officially released. So Bon Scott is my replacement in AC/DC, replacing Dave Evans. He was on a single called Can I Sit Next to You, Girl, which Bon Scott then remade after that. They did a version of it with him on vocals, but there was a single with a B-side, Rockin' in the Parlor, that AC/DC released before Bon Scott came in the band. So it counts, and I know a lot of people might come in and say Brian Johnson. I'm not going to say anymore, but for me, Bon Scott's my favorite. So he made AC/DC, in my opinion. I mean, I get it. Nobody knew AC/DC with Dave Evans. I get it, but he was on an official release first. Yep. So that's why I kind of put them low on the list here, because as the list goes on, and it's going to be you're gonna see how it goes. So, but yeah, James LaBrie, Andy Summers, and Bon Scott are my first three.
Cool. All right, Mark.
I'm going to start with 11 because I don't think he made the band better, but he made them good. He made them great touring. They were doing great stuff with him. Wolfgang Van Halen.
Yeah.
I think he was a great replacement for Michael. He had the vocals. The guy can sing, as you can hear on his solo albums. You know, Eddie wasn't really singing at that time. It was all Wolf doing that on stage. There was even a controversy. Oh, Michael, they're pumping your background vocals through. And somebody debunked that. It was Wolf doing that
No, I
stuff.
wasn't
So,
doing. They weren't doing that.
no, but
Yeah.
there was a thing saying they were pumping Michael because Wolf was sounding so good. So, my number 11 is Wolfgang Van Halen. And this guy did make the band a hell of a lot better because the original singer was bringing the band down with horrible albums, not even sounding like what we grew to love from Queensryche. So I got to go for Todd LaTorre, man. He's made kick-ass albums ever since he's been with them. The stuff we want to hear with Queensryche, and I freaking love it. And he also has a solo album that's kind of like death metalish vocals, but I like it. It's got harmonies. And then I'm gonna go because this band was going way downhill for a while. John Corabi came in and made Motley Crue a fucking the best album, the last best album they made. So you got to give him full credit. And that guy got total shit from them. It's like, got to bring Vince back, man. I wonder what they would have done with him. But I heard the stories about him in the studio during Generation Swine. They didn't know what the fuck they wanted, and he wishes he would have told them that. Yeah, first three words, what the fuck do you want? You want me to do this? You want me to do that? What the fuck do you? He was getting frustrated, but those are my three: Wolfgang, Todd, and John.
Awesome.
Nice. Number 11 is somebody that gets zero credit for anything, even though he either he got lucky when he joined the band or something. But people always say that Mick Taylor era was the best era for the Stones, right? But he gets zero fucking credit for that era. You know what I mean? Whether it was just he walked into it, I don't know. But obviously he must have done something right because I think all of us agree that's probably the best Stones era, correct?
Absolutely, I
Yeah.
agree with it.
I mean, 100%. I mean, he gets like zero credit for any of that. But that's my number 11. My number 10 is, Dave Grohl did have the Foo Fighters in the right direction, but I think he had a great relationship with Taylor Hawkins that maybe made the band a little, more exciting, more wanting to do more. You know what I'm saying? They became really good friends and they really enjoyed playing together.
They had a
And I
great
think that could
chemistry together. Yeah,
exactly, that's what I think
yeah.
that contributed to successful albums and rest in peace, Taylor. Still sad. It's still weird. It's still weird how I haven't even heard the new drummer yet. Is he any good? I haven't heard
He's
I
good.
heard the new Foo Fighters. I didn't really like it, but
He was a
I'm
He
Nine
was in
wondering.
Inch
Nine Inch
Nails.
Nails. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. And then my number 9 is Mark was gonna love this one, but there is no REO Speedwagon without Kevin Cronin taking over for the vocals, man. I
Twice.
mean, twice, yes. I mean,
Yeah.
Kevin, I do like, well, I do like Riding the Storm Out, the original. I know Mark's gonna hate me for that, but Kevin Cronin made it his own. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, I mean, kind of like with Pink Floyd with Sid Barrett, they wouldn't have gone as far as they did without if David Gilmour didn't take over,
They
which I might
released
mention a little bit
Kevin
later.
Cronin's
But
original recording from that session because he's fired in the middle
yeah,
making Riding the Storm Out. So
right. So that's my number 3. We got Mick Taylor, Mick Taylor,
Mick
Taylor
Jesus,
Hawkins, and Kevin Cronin. Yeah.
Mick
So
Jesus.
876, Tim.
Um, I never understood why REO Speedwagon got Mike Murphy because he couldn't sing his weight of a wet paper bag. I didn't think,
Yeah.
but anyway, I didn't mind. What was his name on the first album? The guy that was in Star Castle. Shoot. Oh, his
The one that Kevin replaced.
originally,
Yeah.
yeah, he only sang on the first album, and then he was in that band Star Castle, and I didn't mind that first album, but yeah, those Mike Murphy albums are horrible, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, my opinion. All right, 876. It's bugging me that I can't think of that guy's name, though. I hate that when my old brain takes over. You know what? I'm gonna echo Todd LaTorre. I think Queensryche was in the absolute dump. Dedicated to Chaos is a piece of shit.
Shit.
It's no better than a frisbee. I hate that album.
Never
I've
even got it.
almost I've it's so bad. There's like There's like four semi-decent tracks on it, and two of those I think are the bonus tracks. Uh, oh, it's awful. And they were just going
Very
down and
bad.
down and down and down and down.
Yeah,
And
they
I
got
actually
progressively worse.
and I
Yeah.
actually think that it's really weird, but I like both of the Queensryche albums that came out in 2013. I like that Frequency Unknown as much as it's a thrown together album and it was rush released. I think there's some good songs on there, and I loved the self-titled album. And I like all the Todd La Torre albums with Queensryche. I think that they're just
Yeah.
maintaining a high standard of quality. I think both sides have done better. Their relationship had become toxic. Tate needed a break from the rest of the band. I actually really liked that first when he called the band Operation Mindcrime. I think the first album was called God, I'm really bad this afternoon. I'm just trying to find it here, not the new The Key. I thought that was
Yeah.
quite good.
Yeah.
But together it was toxic. So they had to split apart. Todd was a perfect replacement.
It's a perfect example of addition by subtraction.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. My next one is there's not a lot of recordings with his voice, but I think he did a great job stepping in, replacing one of the most legendary singers. And I've seen him live, and I really liked what he did. And that's Kelly Hansen in Foreigner. I never would have thought, based on the few songs I'd heard from Hurricane, like of Kelly singing, I never thought he sounded like Lou Gramm, but he got right in there. And he, even on that album, Can't Slow Down, which isn't a great album, but the few songs that I did like on there, like In Pieces and When It Comes to Love, like the singles, and especially the song Too Late, those sounded like those could have been Lou Gramm songs because he's getting right into the phrasing. And I saw him live. I don't know why he left, but like they're even less of a band. There's kind of like a Whitesnake situation now, but I thought he did a great job in Foreigner. And then my next one is Dax Nielsen. Um,
Oh, I forgot
and
about
and
him.
this is another example of addition by subtraction, I think, because they weren't doing any new albums with Bun. I know Bun's the Cheap Trick drummer. We know that, but for whatever reason, the chemistry was toxic. Dax comes in and they start releasing albums, and they're all really, really good albums. I'm not a huge Cheap Trick fan, but I like them, and I really like the albums. All of those albums they've done since Dax came into the band, and he knows, like, he's the right drummer. You couldn't just get any drummer in for Bunny Carlos because he's got a unique style, and Dax obviously is a fan of the band beyond just being Rick Nielsen's son. So I thought he did a great job. So that's my 8, 7, and 6.
Can I just chime in on that one real quick? Um, the the plus side of that too, of Dax coming in, they played longer shows
Yeah,
because when Bun was in the band, I think the max they were playing was like 80 minutes, 75, 80 minutes. Dax comes in, they start playing almost 2 hour shows. Because I think Bun had a back thing, and I don't know if that's an excuse or he's older, so he's a drummer. And I think
Drummers,
like going
yeah,
going
metal
over
abuse.
going over an hour, going over 70 minutes, I think his back would bother him, and I think that's why they shorten shows. But Dax comes in and the shows lengthen up again. I miss Bun. I love Bun in Cheap Trick. I've seen them many times with him. I've met Bun with Cheap Trick and everything like so. But it was one of those things where after a while, like it kind of wore off, and I'm like, yeah, maybe it was a good idea that Dax came in and kind of took over because they became like Tim says, they became prolific and releasing albums at a regular frequency. I mean, almost like every 2 years they were releasing an album. So
yeah.
so yeah, I agree with you on that one. I wouldn't have put it on my list because I'm such a huge Bond fan, so I don't think I'm not going to say it makes it better, but they continued functioning.
Yeah.
If that's what I want to say about it. But anyway, thank you for letting me chime in there.
You're up next.
Terry Luttrell. Terry Luttrell.
That's it. Yeah, REO.
That's
Yeah,
the guy's name in Aria Speedway. I had to
Ah,
look it up. It was driving me nuts.
it drives me crazy too when I can't remember.
yeah. Remember the old days where you had to call like 6 friends to try to find something out? You didn't have
Yeah.
Google or
Yeah.
anything like that. Yeah, it was a yeah, it was
And you got the party line. No, just kidding.
yeah.
My turn?
No,
I
it's
think it's
Al's
my
turn.
turn.
Al's turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so my number 8, Steve Howe and Yes comes in and replaces Peter Banks. Peter Banks, I think, was on the first two albums,
Yeah.
Yes albums, I think.
Yeah.
And Steve Howe comes in, Yes really kind of congeals then and really becomes the Yes that we know. I know there might be some people on here that's going to put another person in the list, but I'm not going to say anything. But anyway, I'm sorry, Steve Howe coming in, replacing Peter Banks. That's my improves them tenfold, in my opinion. My number 7, Martin Barr coming into Jethro Tull. He replaces Mick Abrahams, who only played on the first album, which is more blues based. Then Martin comes into Jethro Tull, expands the sound out, and they become a bit more progressive, more like very, very different styles coming in. And Martin was like, to me, like not having Martin now in Jethro, in I don't know why Ian calls it Jethro Tull. I mean, without Martin, to me, it's not Jethro Tull. I think those two together have to be there together for it to be Jethro Tull. But anyway, I digress. Um, I love Jethro Tull, the '70s stuff that they put out, and it's Martin Barr. I think is a very underrated guitar player. So my number 6, David Gilmour in Pink Floyd, and I love Sid Barrett. I love that first album and the little part on Saucerful that he's on. But they needed, I mean, had he stayed in the band, I mean, they would have never got to the heights that they, would have gotten to. I mean, David comes in and just completely takes them to the stratosphere, with his idea. It's actually still a slow build. There's a few
Yeah.
albums that still, but I love those pre Dark Side of the Moon albums that David is on as well. I love a lot of that stuff.
Adam Hart Mother, Metal, those
Yeah,
are all good
I
albums.
mean, Metal is like one of my favorite.
Yeah,
I
that's a
love
great
that
album.
album, man. And so I mean, he comes in and made that band better. And again, it's not a slight on. I love that first Sid Barrett album. I do love the early Pink Floyd, but David made Pink Floyd Pink Floyd. His sound is really that sound. So, so that's my 8, 7, and 6.
Awesome. All right, Mark.
I'm gonna go with Kelly Hansen, who's already been mentioned. I don't think he made the band better because Lou's my favorite, but he made the band. People know who they are. They know them. He kept the music alive, and they put on good shows, and they were no slouch on stage, so they were great. And then I'm gonna go with Lindsey Buckingham for Fleetwood Mac. Without, I know Stevie came in with him, but I'm just saying Buckingham. You listen to his solo albums, it's like Pink, that's like Fleetwood Mac albums. That's his sound that he gave to Mac. That is all his. He's the band leader right there. You could tell they went his direction. They followed to great success. And Stevie had her own stuff, but it was still her song still had that Lindsey Buckingham production going through it, like directing and musical director. So I give him that. And then Brian Howell Bad Company. Confession, I like those albums better than Paul
I do too.
Rogers.
No, I
Amen.
don't like. I
Yes.
don't go that far, but I do like
No.
them.
I
I
wouldn't
don't
go
go
that
that
far
Amen.
either,
far,
but I
but
do like those
No.
albums a lot.
yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love the Paul Rogers albums, but I find myself listening to him more. Like when I want to go listen back,
That
I
and
go to
that's
him.
cool, dude. Yeah.
Maybe
yeah.
because
Nothing
I
wrong
burned
with Brian
myself
Howe.
out on those all those Bad Company albums years ago that he's the second, so I'm just going again with him.
I love
I
the
don't know.
Nugent album. I love the Nugent album that Brian now sings on as well.
Yeah,
You
that's a
know.
great one
Yeah, no,
too.
You
he's a
got
great he was a
me
great vocalist,
tied up in
man.
Yeah.
love, babe.
And
You
then
and
so that's
me.
Kelly Hansen, Lindsey Buckingham, and Brian Howe.
Cool. Yeah, my number 8 is I agree with Mark about the Lindsey Buckingham thing, but you know what? I got to put Lindsey and Stevie together because yeah, they probably might have been a little bit more successful without Lindsey, but having Stevie there kind of I think put them way over the top. That's just my opinion. I mean, obviously they were both great additions to the band, and they made the band better. It's still hard to believe that that was their 10th album that they joined
Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac. A lot of
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
don't realize that. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
unreal. And I've been digging pre-Lindsey stuff lately, so that's all good. Anyway, that's all good stuff.
You would think
My number,
you would think a band 10 years into their career would actually like there would be a spike that actually would take the band to because
right?
let's face it, like usually the mindset is the first decade of a band is usually the most prolific, the most successful, the most
Right.
things like that. And then there's certain cases though where, and I love the Peter Green stuff, man. I love that early Mac stuff. But let's face it, like, when Lindsay and
Right.
Stevie came in, I mean, it's almost like a fucking AC/DC. Like they made one of the biggest albums of all time, dude.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
pretty
well,
crazy.
they did have the self-titled album before that. I'm sorry. So that
Right.
really was
That
their second
was
album. Room,
That's
but
like
that's a
that's a
huge
seven.
album too.
but
That's
that's
like
a great
seven
album as well.
million. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
But and of course, nobody gives Bob Welch much talk, but Bob Welch was a great
I
thing
almost
between
it,
put I almost
Peter
put
Green
Bob
and
Welch. Actually, today
yeah,
as we're filming this is the anniversary of his
yeah.
tragic death in
I
2012.
love Bare Trees, man. I love
Yeah.
Bare Trees. That's such a great album. But yeah, tragic. Another tragic way to go.
that
The
middle
way he
period of Fleetwood Mac gets forgotten about, man. Like everybody
does.
talks
Yep.
about either the Peter
Oh,
Green or then after that, like the Bob Welch
Right.
era. Like
just
it's
I would say
yeah,
to anybody, just put on Hypnotized and tell me if you don't think
Yeah.
that's one of the coolest songs ever made.
yeah. I have those
Yeah.
Bob Welch
Agreed.
albums too. They're great.
Yeah.
Heroes are hard to find, and things like that. I love
Future
them, dude.
Games, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, my next one is I mean, I love pre-Steve Perry era of Journey, but come on. Steve Perry took that band and just like made him a monster. Until that day, they're still trying to find a singer. They try to find singers that sound like Steve Perry to continue it. So
Yeah.
if that means anything. I
That definitely
mean,
took them to their commercial heights, man.
to
You
me
know.
with Journey, there was nothing better than Steve Perry, Greg Raleigh duet, man. Those
Yeah.
Oh, I
were
love those,
some of my
man.
Yeah.
favorite songs, man. I thought that was pretty cool.
I was
Again,
so
you
happy.
could
I
probably
was so happy the last time I saw them when they played like Feeling That Way, and they
anytime,
played
yeah, just
well,
the
I'm
same
sorry,
way.
yeah, I'm sorry, Anytime and Just the Same Way. Even though it's not Greg Raleigh and it's not Steve
Right.
Perry, it's still great to hear, because
Yeah,
Kane and Arnell were trade oh no, Kane
right.
and Dean Castronova were actually training off,
Yeah.
which is
So
cool.
how many songs did Arnell sing? He didn't sing like what half of them, right? If that.
No,
Arnell, sa-
I think there's
Arnell
like
sang
five.
Arnell sang 70% of the show. And
Yeah.
then
Oh, okay.
Kane,
What I'm
all
hearing,
them other guys
yeah,
did like certain
right.
songs here and there, but yeah.
Okay, what I'm hearing, he was hardly out
I mean,
there.
listen,
So
they're playing a 2 hour and 20-minute show.
yeah,
Mm,
So you got to give, I mean, even in their height with Steve Perry, they didn't play that long of a show.
that's
yeah.
You got
true.
to give Arnell a break every once in a while, man, because
Yeah.
it's just going to
Yeah,
kill him, if he has to sing 2 hours and 20 minutes the whole night,
Yeah.
night after night, so
yeah.
they're doing it
I mean,
smart.
you could have put Jonathan Cain in there as well, even though I prefer Greg Wally. But Jonathan Cain and Steve Perry, their songwriting, like their hits, Center of My Love, Open
They
Arms, all
went to
that stuff.
commercial heights with them, man.
Exactly.
You know,
So that's and my next one is I'm just gonna say the name. I'm gonna let all you three talk about it because you guys are huge fans. I'm just gonna say Neil Peart, excuse me, to all the prog perfectionists out there.
well,
But
I'm not going to
that's
say
all
anything because it's going to be on my list, obviously. So,
that's
Yeah.
what I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Mum's
gonna
the
let you guys.
word here.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you guys talk about it when it comes to it. That's what
Okay.
I'm saying. That's
okay.
what I
Okay.
meant. 'Cause I know it's gonna be a lot higher for you guys. So that's my three: Perry, Gilmore, and Lindsay and Stevie. So 5, 4, 3, Tim.
Okay, just hang on a second. My
Right.
dog wants out, so I'll open the door. There we go. Um, okay, so this is a strange example of instead of like having one guy that was only on one album and then from then on it was the replacement. This is a guy that came in and was only on one album, but I think as a guitar player and a songwriter, at a time when it could have been absolutely a horrific album, I think that he contributed to a really good album, and I'm talking about Jimmy Crespo
Oh
Oh,
yeah. That's a good one.
because I have gone on record, and people look at me like, huh? And it's called Night in the Ruts, my favorite Aerosmith album. And I stand by that. I absolutely love that album, and I would say to anybody who disagrees,
I love that album, man.
when's the last time you listened to it? It's good
I
all the
love
way
that
through.
album, dude.
But I love Rockin' a Hard Place. I think Rockin' a Hard Place. So I got into Aerosmith like around 1990s when I really started buying their albums. And I know that Rockin' a Hard Place was supposed to be the album that you weren't supposed to like because Joe wasn't on it and Brad's really not on it. He's only on one song. But there's great songs on there. Jailbait, Lightning Strikes, Joni's Butterfly. Bitches Brew, like I think that's a great album, and
Great
Jimmy
album.
doesn't get much credit. I know Rick Dufay was there too, but I really don't think Rick did a
He
lot. I
didn't
think
play on the album, I don't
no,
think.
no. And I think that Jimmy was the MVP of that album. I don't think he would have had an album between 79 and 85 if it wasn't for Jimmy Crespo, and he never gets talked about.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure because I really liked that album. You know,
I love that
obviously
album,
the
man.
band needed to come back together, and it's good that they did. But yeah, Jimmy was he did exactly what he was hired to do. He took that role that you know
I love
that
that
set.
album, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really good. Next up, Eric Carr. Um, Nothing against Peter, but I love Creatures of the Night. That's my favorite Kiss album. Um,
Good one.
I'm one of those weirdos that likes The Elder, but I
That's
like Eric Carr for the same reason I like Jason Newsted. He seemed like a fan that he was like the fan in all of us that happened to be in the band. He seemed like such a spokesperson for the band and such a great ambassador for the band because I've never heard one story about anybody meeting Eric and saying, "Oh, he wasn't very nice." I've never heard anybody say that. They always say what a nice guy he was. Not to mention the fact that he was a fantastic drummer. So, um, a lot of people have talked about him, but I don't think enough people talk about him. So, Eric Carr. And that's oh, and then my number three is Phil Collen, stepping in for Pete Willis in Def Leppard. And I think he was kind of like the Jonathan Cain in a way, um, that they went even farther because I think Pete Willis was a great guitar player and he wanted the band to be heavier, but I think Phil came in. First of all, Phil's a blisteringly good guitar player. He can shred with the best of them, but he also knows how to write melodies. And I just I'm not saying that I think Pyromania would have still been a big album if Pete had still been in the band, um, but Phil's just a fantastic musician, and there you go. That's my five, four, and three.
I have to disagree with that, but that's my
Yeah, me
That's
too.
preference.
cool.
I'm such a huge fan of the first three. I know Phil came in on Pyromania, but Pete is still there in the songwriting,
Oh,
and
Pete's all over
he's all over that
all
album.
over Pyromania.
And
I get it. I get it.
my favorite Def Leppard's the first three, and I think
Yeah.
Phil came in and kind of, you know,
Reap the benefits.
yeah,
But
but
he's no
listen,
slouch. Like he's no
listen,
slouch.
Hysteria is one of the biggest selling albums of all time. So I
Yeah.
can't argue that, he didn't have a contributing factor to that. But my preference is the first three when they were raw with Pete Willis. I love that, But hey, he made
Hey, I've did
another example of like when Steve Perry came in and took Journey to Commercial
right.
Heights. They went to
Exactly.
Commercial Heights with,
Yeah.
him. So
But I my argument there, well, it's not an argument. I've gone on record and said that Hysteria is my favorite album of all time.
yeah,
And I've defended it against Martin Popoff on the Contrarians.
yeah.
So if anybody comes to me and says, "Well, I don't like Hysteria," I said, "Look, I've defended Hysteria against Martin Popoff, who famously gives it a zero. So I'm not afraid of you."
I'm
No,
not,
no, no.
I'm,
I'm just saying, like, I think I've taken all of the brunt, and I
yeah.
totally get it. But I will say this: High and Dry is probably my second favorite Def Leppard album. I love High and Dry. I think
That's a
that's
I'm
a
great
not one of
album.
great
those that
album.
actually, I'm not one of those like shits all over Hysteria. Actually, when that album came out, I played the shit out of it, dude. I'm not afraid to
It's a
admit it.
very different sound. I will
Yeah,
say that. And if you like the heavier sound, yeah, they never really gave that to you
yeah.
again. Yeah,
I still,
no, totally.
women is still my favorite. No,
That's a great Dark Horse
and then when that
song.
song came
Yeah.
out, it flopped. I mean, it didn't
Yeah.
Yeah.
really like,
Yeah.
it wasn't
Totally.
until
Their
Portion
first, their
Sugar.
first, the first three or four singles flopped, didn't it? Kind of.
Yeah,
Well,
it was.
they
I think Pour Some
eh,
Sugar was the third,
fourth. So there was
fourth.
Women,
Okay,
which only got to number 80. So that was forget about it.
Animal,
Animal peaked at
animals,
19, which is decent, but that's not what you want for a comeback. And then the title song got to
title
number
track.
10, but that was Pour Some
it
Sugar on
it
Me, where
built
the
up to it.
album
It
went.
built up to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what I like, but I
That's real quick. That was in a time when you could release an album and you can build it up, and it could be in the charts for a year, 2, 3 years, and it can have up and down on the charts where
The
it's
yeah,
completely like not like that
the
now.
record
Yeah.
label, because they had the faith and invested the time, they
Yep.
got it back. Like they got their investment back. Now
Yeah.
that was, and it never happened again, I don't think.
Yeah.
What's the horrible ballad on that album? Shit, I
Love
can't think of
Bites.
it. Love Bites.
I
Oh.
love that
But that was
song.
a that was a big hit though for him. That's one
That
of his
Yeah.
biggest
was
hits on the album,
weirdest
right?
one. That was their only number one song. I would never list that as one of my favorites personally, but
Yeah.
I
God,
love it.
Gods of War and Run
Yeah, I love
Oh,
Riot,
that
there are
Gods
song
of
some
too.
War is my
great,
favorite.
great
The
songs on
deep
that
tracks on
album.
there,
That was
the
the best
non
that was
the
the best
non
part of the
singles
live
on
show,
there,
actually.
the non
Yeah.
singles
Gods
on
of
there are
War.
great, and there's bonus tracks too, like the B sides and
Oh man, the
stuff.
songs that they were doing, like they were on such a creative road. Tear It Down, I Want to Be Your
Yeah,
Hero, and
yeah,
Ring of Fire. Like it's great
Yeah.
stuff on there. So
yeah,
I love. It's nice to have a discourse where we can disagree, and yeah, and this is what people on the the commenters on the internet. There's none of that. It's like if you're not with them, you're against them. It's like no, we
yeah.
just hear it differently.
Yeah.
It's not like no, Tim, you're wrong.
I
Yeah,
will say this about Hysteria: it's better than Adrenalize. There you go. I'll say that.
You know what? You know what's funny about Adrenalize though? It knocked Nevermind off the top spot on the
and you
Billboard
know what?
charts.
For that alone, I will always. Yeah, yeah. Don't get me started on grunge, boys.
Well, it's
Anyway,
like, if it wasn't for Thriller, Hysteria would have reached number one, right? I mean,
Pyromania.
Fireman.
Pyromania, excuse me, my bad,
Yeah.
my bad.
And
Yeah,
Van
And so
Halen
and
Van Halen.
1984.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
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 Thriller was a beast,
In the
man.
case
You
of
know.
Van Halen, Eddie probably just kind of shrugged and said, "Well, I'm on them both." So even though he didn't get
True.
paid,
Yeah.
but
There you go.
Well,
Yeah.
Alex wasn't happy about that, so there you go.
Alex isn't happy about anything, I don't think.
No, he's not. Are you
All
done,
right.
Tim? Did you do your last
Yes,
two?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm
All
done.
right.
Cool.
All
Al,
right.
go ahead, man.
My next one, and now this is it's actually gonna be a twofer because this guy came in, he did the studio album, but then he was a hired gun session player for the studio album. Then do the tour, so they hired somebody to do the tour and the next few albums. So it's gonna be a twofer of Simon Phillips and Les Binks and Judas Priest, replacing Alan Moore on drums. Now Simon Phillips comes in and does Sin After Sin, and he takes the drum level on a Priest album to bigger heights, bringing in double bass and all that kind of making Judas Priest actually heavier and speedier and heavy and faster. Then Les Binks comes in, does the tour. He does Hellbent for Leather and Stay in Class, which Stay in Class is my favorite Priest studio album, and just completely takes the drum level to the next level. So to me, Simon Phillips and Les Binks, I put them together because they replaced Alan Moore in Judas Priest, and then Judas Priest really became that monster juggernaut, from then on. So that's my number. What is that? 5, right?
Yep.
My number 4, I'm going John Sykes. When he comes in on Slide It In, he replaces. Well, now Mel Galley and Mickey Moody are still on the album. He comes in and overdubs the album and makes it actually heavier and more. He overdubs some because there's a UK version of that
Yep.
and there's a US version, which Sykes is on the US version. He just completely revs up the band. Now I know there's Whitesnake purists that love the earlier bluesier albums, but for me, I didn't. Being in America, John Sykes was the first exposure I ever had of
Yeah.
Whitesnake. Seeing the Slide It In video, Love Ain't No Stranger, all that stuff. I'm like, who's this fucking killer guitar player?
Yeah.
And then obviously he went on to the '87 album and helped write that album and everything. So for me, John Sykes coming into Whitesnake vastly improved that band for me. You know what I mean? So that's gonna be my number 4. My number 3, it's another duo because they came in at the same time, and it's Phil Collins, but not as a singer, as a drummer
Yeah.
in Genesis.
Yeah.
So Phil Collins and Steve Hackett come in to Genesis at the same time, replacing John Mayhew and Anthony Phillips on their third album, and they take Genesis to the real next level. As a prog band in the '70s and doing all those great progressive albums with Peter Gabriel. Some people might say, hey, listen, Phil Collins replacing, but I'm not going to go into that. But Phil Collins is a drummer coming into Genesis, vastly improved, and Steve Hackett. Love both of them, and they came in at the same time, in Genesis. So Simon Phillips, Les Binks, my number 5, John Sykes, my number 4, Phil Collins and Steve Hackett, my number 3.
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys if Phil Collins would have qualified for it because he's technically, well, I didn't know he's not an original member.
He's 2
I thought,
replacements. He's not an
no, I
he's
thought,
not in the first.
he wasn't the
He's not
original
in the
drummer.
first 2. He's
No.
not the first
Oh, I
2
didn't know
Genesis
that.
albums.
I was not aware. Okay, so I would have asked. I would have asked if that would have counted anyway because
He almost counts twice
positions.
because
Yeah.
he's a
Yeah, I guess
replacement
so.
drummer and
Yeah.
a replacement singer
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
or
He
lead
counts
singer,
twice,
anyways. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Mark, you're up next.
Well, I'm gonna go with Collins as a singer because they were auditioning singers, and then Phil keeps going, "Well, why can't I do it?" And they go, "Well, he sang lead here and there. Let's just try it with Phil." And it
Actually, it
became
was the band. Actually, it was the band that told him, "Why don't you do it?"
Oh, I thought he
Because
said,
Collins was helping the or people auditioning with the songs.
yeah.
People coming in auditioning. Phil was actually teaching them how to sing it, and then the band turned to Phil like, "Why don't you just do it?" So that's the story, really,
Oh, that's
of
cool.
it.
So I've
Collins
heard,
didn't even ask. Collins
yeah.
didn't even ask for it. They
I've
kind
heard
of
him.
put him.
Yeah. I've heard Phil say the idea of coming out from behind the drums terrified him.
Yeah,
So yeah, he was
yeah,
very reluctant. But
yeah.
how weird is that? I can't think of another situation where somebody from within the band stepped up like, "Oh, guess what? They could sing. They're equally as good at one thing as the other."
Yeah.
Dean Castronovo. There you
Well,
go. That guy sounds
yeah,
more like Steve Perry, and
yeah.
he's the same way. He says he don't want to be a lead singer just for that same reason. He doesn't feel
It's so good
comfortable.
though that they kept him as he's the secret weapon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
So,
that journey through time was
Oh,
fucking
hey,
incredible.
I could talk about that for anyway. I
Yeah.
love that
There's
early
there's
stuff.
there. I brought this up, and I brought this up on you know you getting the from the band within coming in as a replacement. Looking within the band to replace them. I always thought, because I love Badlands, and I love Ray Gillen. They had Jeff Martin on the drums, and that guy was a singer for Racer X. That
Yeah,
guy could sing his ass off, dude. And I'm surprised they didn't pull a Genesis and to be like, listen, why don't you become the lead singer and continue Badlands on with them? I guess they had such a bad rapport with the Atlantic Records that they just
yeah.
completely just
If
like
they had
were like, forget it.
continued, maybe.
Yeah.
But for that matter, Eric Singer can sing.
Yeah, he can.
Yeah. You know. So
he already
anyway.
left. Didn't he already leave for Kiss on the
He had
second
already
album?
left. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 But how sad would it be if if he couldn't sing and that was his name?
Yeah.
Eric
If he
Singer.
just
Yeah.
if he just couldn't carry a tune at all.
You
Yeah,
call
that would be.
Eric Drummer, I guess.
Yeah.
And then, so Phil Collins with Genesis is the vocals, and this one is a twofer because I think they came in the band at the same time, and I think they made the band. My favorite albums with these two, man, are Deep Purple with Glenn Hughes and David Coverdale.
Yeah.
The albums they made are just freaking brilliant, and they went a little harder, I think, with these two, especially with the highs that freaking they were both doing. A little
Yeah.
bit more bluesier too.
A
So
little
that
funkier too.
little
Well,
funky,
that's
yeah.
when that's when what's his name replaced Blackmore, but that's a whole other thing.
Come
And
Taste
then,
the Band is a really good album that a lot
Yeah,
of people don't talk about.
yeah. Tommy Bolin was good, man.
Yeah.
So
then my number 3 is that other guitar player of Yes that Al already mentioned, Trevor Rabin.
I
Because
knew that was going to come up but then mine. I know that this is going to come up in this, so that's fine though. It's awesome. No problem.
I've talked about him on other shows. Jerry's talked about on other shows. We don't need to give you the reason why. It's just our favorite era of Yes. Probably
Yeah,
because his background vocals add with his guitar tone. It's different than what Steve
Mine is
did.
lead vocals.
yeah,
He's a great
Yeah,
singer
lead
too.
vocals.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
so that's it.
all of these are wrong. Anyway, I'm just
Look,
joking.
I'm gonna echo Mark's statement
I'm
here because I
joking.
agree. Trevor, it's not that I mean, to say Steve Howell's not a good guitar player is just total asinine. And of course, he's
No,
a
he's a
great
great
guitar
guitar
player.
player.
It's just that Trevor Rabin was the Yes that I was
It
introduced
became
to
a
in the
different band with
80s.
him, and it's
True.
great. Dude, I love the Trevor Rabin stuff too, man. That guy's a fucking talent without,
Yes.
without question.
But and to Trevor's credit. He didn't even want it to be Yes. So the record company made it become
But
Yes.
you guys have
Yeah.
gone on record saying, "Oh, well, Trevor Ray blows Steve Howe away."
I
Come
think he
on, dude.
does.
No,
He
I think he
does.
he does
does.
not,
He
dude.
does.
Oh,
No,
his
I see.
talent, his
I
I
see.
can't
songwriting
get down with
ability.
that, dude.
I
I'm
see
sorry,
Trevor
man.
live do
Well,
Steve Howell's parts, and he did them
Okay,
perfectly.
fine, dude. Okay, well,
Starship
that's
Trooper, man, he kills that.
case in point, I must say one thing. I don't want to, it's cool. And I expect your opinion now. But have you ever seen the end of the Union footage?
yeah. Of course, I have. I have that album
Come on
too.
now. Come on now. No, come on now. Trevor
What? That he blows him
was.
away? Maybe stage presence and just the way he is. And then maybe looking with it at with your eyes,
And I saw
maybe.
that tour.
Because Steve Howe, let's face it, he stands in one place and he fucking
Well,
plays,
yeah,
dude.
okay. I'm just saying, Steve Howe. I'm
You
not
know,
saying Steve Howe's terrible at all.
the
He's a
guy's a
fucking
virtuoso,
amazing
man.
guitarist.
And to say that Trevor Rabin comes in and blows him away
I
is
think
just
he does.
ridiculous, in my
Absolutely.
opinion.
It's an opinion. I
Yeah,
mean,
I know it's an opinion, and I don't share it with you because you're wrong.
okay. Oh, and that's fine.
Where's
You're allowed to be
where's
wrong
my
as well.
popcorn?
And I'm not even
We
involved in this argument, so I'm
we
good.
now we always get along great most of the time. I think there's 2 times we didn't get along. It was this topic, and there's one other one too. What was it?
I don't know.
That
I don't know. I have no
we had a
idea.
little spat about. I can't remember. It's one of the first ones we started doing together. I can't remember what it was about.
I still love you,
Oh
brother.
shit. Well, I'm just I know too, dude. I think it's great. But what the fuck was the other one?
I don't know. It'll come to your
I
head.
can't remember.
I don't
Yeah, well,
remember
but anyway.
I think
Let's
if
Trevor
somebody
Rabin.
stumbles upon it, we'll know it really quick.
Yeah,
That's
Trevor
the trigger.
Rabin.
There's the trigger.
I mean,
I love Yes, and I think that they're just so completely different in their styles, like so completely different. Obviously, the 90125, like Owner of Lonely Hearts, first time I ever heard Yes, I would have been like 9 years old. I wouldn't have heard Fragile or Close to the Edge.
it was the most commercially successful album, man. Yeah.
It was years before I got it, but my favorite Yes album is probably Drama because I
I love
absolutely
that album.
love that album. But my
Yeah.
favorite single Yes song could be Love Will Find a Way. I think that's an excellent song
Big
that should have
Generator,
done
yeah.
much better.
Yeah.
No,
love
I
Big Generator.
think 90125 is a better album overall than Big Generator, but Love Will Find a Way is better than anything on 90125.
The one thing
I
I've
just
always
think
loved
it's a
about
fantastic
Trevor
song.
is his guitar tone on Talk, I thought was
Yeah.
otherworldly. And as a guitar player, I just loved his tone.
I agree with you.
on that album.
I agree with you on that. Yeah.
His clean sound is so fucking good, man.
I love that chorusy clean sound he's got. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Dude,
Anyway,
listen, I love No, dude, I'm just like kind of
I
busting your
get you,
chops.
Al. I get it.
Dude,
I get it, man.
Trevor coming in reignited that band, and it took them to come. But hey, look at the Asia album too. That was a huge album around the same time, But anyway, dude, I love them both, man. But I just the whole blowing away Steve Howe though is kind of
me
like
and Mark
come
are
on,
in the minority on that opinion. I
Yeah.
believe so. But it's
Okay.
just the way. But we're right. So
Show's
we'll move
over.
on.
Done. Goodbye.
Yeah, I'm going to top that now.
Well, if you add
Okay,
if you add vocals between Steve Howe and Trevor,
Oh no,
that's
Steve
where
Howe
it
is
goes.
not a vocalist.
Steve Howe,
There you go.
Steve Howe should
Stay away
never
from what? Yeah, stay away
never
from
sing lead,
Yeah.
and I do not understand because Billy Sherwood's a really good singer, and they wish if he's replacing Chris Squire, let him do the Chris Squire parts. But it's almost like Steve Howe insists on having a vocal track on these albums, and it's just not good, man.
Yeah,
I actually like that new Yes song that came out. I actually kind of like it.
Me too. You talk about a cranky fan base. Holy cow!
Oh, prog fans are all like that, though. Come on, you have to
man.
get prog fans are more picky.
Oh.
They are. Come on, you guys know you guys
Awful.
are. Come on,
Awful. I don't engage in it, but I mean,
prog fans, Kiss nerds, and
Yeah.
actually it's becoming the Sammy Dave thing now. Is the biggest thing now, probably.
Metallica fans can be pretty ornery too.
That's true too. Anyway, let's move on to my next one. I mean, this is another hot topic on the chat rooms are, Paul Di'Anno's era of Iron Maiden was much better than Bruce Dickinson's era, but come on. I mean, Iron Maiden would never have gone as far with Paul as he did with Bruce Dickinson.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's be reasonable. I do like Killers. It's my second favorite album. That's a great fucking album. Don't get me wrong, but come on. I mean,
Number of the Beast is still my favorite.
Yeah, it's my favorite too. I mean,
I
can actually.
Well, that's when I
Paul
came in with
singing,
them too.
Yeah, I can picture Paul singing some of those songs actually on the Number of the Beast, but but past that, it's like, Bruce took that band fucking to another level, in my opinion. So, and then my number three is, and
I
I don't
think
know if you guys
hey
go
Jerry,
ahead.
real
No, sure,
quick, real
sure.
quick on the Iron Maiden, like Bruce and Paul thing, but there's people that think, yeah, Bruce had this more operatic kind of range, but if you listen to Paul Di'Anno stuff, he had the same range as Bruce,
He
dude.
did have a good
He just
range. Yeah,
sang in a different stylistic way. That guy could hit high notes like a motherfucker, dude. And for them,
absolutely.
there's a whole thing. Oh well, Bruce came in and his vocals took him to a dude. Paul Di'Anno could sing fucking phenomenal too. But he
Remember
had a different
Tomorrow, just listen to
mindset.
that song.
He wasn't
Yeah,
this. He
absolutely.
wasn't this kind of operatic kind of stylist.
Yeah,
He had that more of a punk edge to him. But he still could. He had a fucking octave range, just
he
the
did.
same as
Yeah.
Bruce, really. It's just that Bruce had a different stylistic way of delivering it. So yeah, that's kind of like the way it gets it's like delivered. But I just want to put that out there because
No, you're right.
it's like oh well fucking Paul didn't have the range of Bruce. Yeah, well yeah he did. Yeah, he
Yeah, he did.
did, but he just was different. So
I mean, Bruce as a front man is probably a lot better. Paul was
well yeah
he
he runs
wasn't the
around like a
most
madman
mobile.
and
Yeah, still does.
yeah.
Right to him, but I mean, let's just face it. I know.
But Bruce
I,
did take him. Bruce,
yes,
yeah, without
absolutely.
Bruce, they
Whether
wouldn't have
yeah,
got to where they got.
whether he walked
I
into that
believe that.
situation or not, well, I don't
Yeah,
know. But I
yeah.
just think his everything
Sorry,
about
I
him. I
just wanted
think
to
no,
chime
it's
in on
fine.
that.
And then yeah, this is kind of a weird thing here because I think this is one of the biggest bands in the world today, still today, and I don't think if they would have kept doing what they were doing with Bernie Leadon, I don't think they would have been as big as when Joe Walsh joined the Eagles with Hotel California. You know what I mean? Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
think
I agree
that's
with
I
that.
think I think there's a lot to be said for that.
I know, and I
Well,
love the
Don
Bernie Leadon
Don
era.
Felder also joining was a big thing. He joined
True,
way
but
before Joe on the Border album, I think.
no, and I think they became a great. People don't talk
Uh,
about them as a guitar duo. Don Felder and Joe
Yeah, they
Walsh. I
were a
think
great
they're
duo, man.
fucking
yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. I think if they would have stayed in that Southern rock thing, I don't think they would have been as big as they were when before Hotel California. If they didn't go that way, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know if the record company wanted them to do that, or the band wanted to do that, or Joe Walsh wanted. I don't know
They
what.
said they wanted to rock and they got Joe Walsh. Yeah.
Oh, they did. I mean, that fucking
They were more
album
the
was
country
oof.
rock kind of
Right.
Yeah,
thing.
big time,
Yeah.
big time.
Yeah.
That's why I
Although
don't
that
think. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead,
was
Tim.
that first greatest hits though. I mean, how many copies did that sell prior to
Dude, that's
Hotel
one of the
California?
biggest selling
Yeah,
albums of
It
all.
is the number one, ain't it?
but
Is that
that's
number one or two?
probably
I think it is number one.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
it recently surpassed everything. But
Yeah.
I think that with Joe Walsh joining, they got so big that a lot of people went back and bought that greatest hits album.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
because it's weird because that first greatest hits album way outsold the second one, which had plenty of big hits on it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. 'Cause I think those two albums.
Everybody had that first greatest hits Eagles album.
True.
I still
Everybody,
got it.
dude. Holy
Yeah.
shit. You walk into
Yeah.
any household that still has physical media,
They
I
were handing
fucking
them. They
guarantee.
were handing them out, right?
Jeez, man, I can guarantee you, like 95% of the people probably have that in their fucking collection,
Yeah,
man.
mine's over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Actually,
So,
I got the CD, the cassette, and the album of that. Actually, one of the only ones I have all three of them.
yeah.
But yeah, okay. So I had Bruce, Trevor, and Joe Walsh. So number two, Tim.
So number two, not a name most people will know, but I think this is an example of a band that had two great replacement lead singers because their first singer's, I think, one of the best classic rock singers ever. So no small feat to walk into those shoes. Um, and this is also kind of a situation like Cheap Trick, where you still had your original lead singer who had come back. Number one, he'd lost an awful lot of his range. Number two, he didn't want to do any new music with the band. So they were kind of stuck, whereas the rest of the guys wanted to write and do new music. So Steve Walsh from Kansas finally steps down from the band, and they replace him with Ronnie Platt. And they have gone on to do two of my favorite albums of the
Great albums, man.
2000s, The Prelude Implicit and
Yeah.
The
I
Absence of
love those
Presence.
albums, man.
I
Great
think that,
albums.
yeah, he reignited them. He's not a Steve Walsh clone. I think John Elephant or Elefante, I've come to learn that's how you pronounce his name. He did a great job replacing Steve Walsh originally on the Final Confessions and Drastic Measures, almost to the point where when I first got into Kansas, I didn't know there was they had another singer. Um, but Ronnie Platt came in and he has done such a great job with that band and can sing anything from any era. And I'm excited because in August, my son and I are going to see Kansas opening for Deep Purple. So very
Nice.
much looking forward to that.
They're playing down here in Florida too, and I hope to see that as well.
Yeah. So Ronnie Platt definitely, and with all of the changes that have gone on to that band, he's almost a senior member now, uh,
All right.
because Phil Lehart and Richard Williams don't they aren't touring with the band. Phil definitely isn't. And my number one.
No,
Well,
number
Oh,
two.
wait, wait,
No, no,
whoa,
no,
whoa,
no,
whoa.
no, 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 no.
I think they're just doing
Two.
two.
Just doing
oh,
two.
are
Just
you?
two.
Oh, Ronnie
Yeah.
Platt.
I think I saw one of Phil Ehart's final performance shows because that like 2 years ago when I saw them down here, he played the first half of or no, he played the second half of the show, I think, or maybe the first half. I can't remember now. But he played half the show. They took a break and then they had another drummer come in, but he did play half the show. But it was great because Steve Morse also came out and played with
Oh,
them too.
awesome.
So that was cool to
Yeah.
see him come out and bang out a couple of the songs that he played on, because those Steve, how many albums was Steve
Just
Morse?
to Power and in
Two.
the spirit of things. I
Yeah.
love
So
Power
yeah,
is
that
one of my favorite Kansas
that
albums.
was
That was
great
my
to
entry point.
yeah yeah, but that was great to see him come out and play with him. So that was one of the rare shows of that tour, where I
Wow.
got to see. So yeah, and I
That's
saw them,
awesome.
after that in again, and then Phil wasn't doing the show at that point. He's just like managing the band now
Yeah.
or help
Yeah.
managing, so
Yeah.
um
His
so
book is
yeah,
excellent, by the way, Phil's book.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right.
Talks a lot
Go
about
ahead,
So
that.
my
Al.
number
Yeah.
two here.
Yep.
Um it's funny, Mark touched on a twofer coming into this band, but it's also a twofer for me, but for me it's Ian Gillan and Roger Glover coming into Deep Purple,
Oh yeah.
replacing Rod Evans and Nick Simper.
True.
Now I like Rod Evans. I love those first three albums too, man. They're good albums. But really, when Ian Gillan came in and Roger Glover, that's when Deep Purple really, really became the Deep Purple we all know and love.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's my two for coming into a band. They came in at the same time as well. It's so funny, like they came in at the same time, and then Coverdale, and
Yeah.
it's funny with
Yeah.
that, how they both did it at the same time. So, but that's my because I'm a bit more of an Ian Gillan era. And I love Burn. I love the Coverdale Deep Purple albums, but I'm more of a Gillan guy for myself personally. But yeah, Ian Gillan, Roger Glover coming into Deep Purple. That's my number two.
Cool. All right, Mark.
My number two is we already touched upon this, Kevin Cronin of REO Speedwagon. It's like I remember I got an REO Speedwagon. I went and bought Riding the Storm. Oh, I don't got that tape where we tried to listen to everything, so I just bought it. I'm listening to it. I go, that ain't Kevin Cronin.
Right in the storm
Well,
out.
who the hell is this guy? This isn't
I
the
didn't. I
writing.
didn't hate that version. I like that version.
Listen to the original studio version by Kevin. It's better. But yeah, Kevin Cronin, REO Speedwagon, man. He is the only lead singer of REO Speedwagon I liked. I didn't like the other two. Oh, I like Bruce Hall when he does Back on the Road Again.
Yeah. Yeah, he
That's
can
what,
sing. Yeah.
he's a good replacement member. Also, you got to remember he wasn't
That's
Regis,
true. Yeah.
something Philbin or whatever his
Oh, it was
name is.
It was Greg Philbin, but yeah,
Greg
it's like that's the
Philbin,
only the other time I've ever seen
Regis
the surname
Philbin.
Philbin.
right? Regis and Greg
Yeah,
Philbin.
Regis Philbin.
there's a new talk show, Regis and Greg.
Who wants to be a millionaire?
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Final
Is that your
answer.
final answer, Mark?
Who wants to be a
Wrap that up.
replacement member?
Yeah, there you go. That's a good one. All right, my number two is, of course, me and my good buddy Joseph Staub do a show about this band actually called Heavy Water 77. Check it out on YouTube. I know this guy joined the band and they just took off, man. Tommy Shaw from Styx, man. When he joined Styx, I mean, Crystal Ball was kind of a slow, wasn't as how should I say it,
It
as
took a
popular
while.
as the Grand Illusion when that came out. Holy crap! I mean, that's like they actually went on to a run with that, Pieces of Eight, and well, Cornerstone and Paradise Theater, I think they were all triple platinum. One of the first bands to
Yeah,
actually do that, I think.
yeah.
What's if that says anything about his and they still kept that early prog sound to them, but also added a more rocking sound at the same time when Tommy joined them. So uh yeah, I mean, absolutely one of my favorite bands, and he definitely made a big impact on and of course he still is the leader of that band, right? He's not the only one that I think is. I mean, James Young is still with them, but he's been checked out. He just plays live. He doesn't write anymore or anything. So Tommy's keeping the band alive. So good for him. All right,
I think it's time
number
for that
one.
damn. I think it's time for that damn Yankees reunion.
Yes.
Yeah, don't think that's going to happen, but you never know. I mean, shit, you might not. You never know.
I hope so,
But
man. I want to see him once.
yeah. Number one, Tim.
Well, this is kind of obvious. It's not Neil. I mean, I thought that was too obvious. Well, of course, Tim's going to say Neil. Um, this other one's also pretty obvious. I got to go with Sammy. I mean, Van Halen beat incredible odds that hardly any other rock band did. Because usually when you lose your lead singer, that's it. You're done. You're playing the state fairs. You're playing you're playing the rib fests. You know, your days as a headlining act are over. He came in and every album they had went to number one. Now I know that doesn't mean that they're the biggest sellers. I'm not one of those people, but they maintained being a multi-platinum band and had hit singles and were able to go on tour and do well. And they even lasted as far as balance. They still had a double platinum album, and at least in North America, were able to do well on the road as a headliner. And I think if they'd stayed together, they would have been one of the few bands that would have been able to keep going. Um, and unlike, when Steve Perry left Journey, they never felt the urge to get a singer in that sounded just like David Lee Roth, because you can't replace Dave. He's one of a kind.
Absolutely.
Just get a guy in that can sing really, really well. And also, it's funny, as we were filming this, I just finished listening to the Live in New Haven, which is essentially Live Without a Net, although they screwed around with the song order, and I don't know why. It was pretty ballsy of them to go out in 1986 and do very few older songs. That's how much they believed in the music that they were making. And look, and I know the people that don't like Sammy are never going to like him. It doesn't matter. He could cure cancer, and they'd still say he sucks. But my
Well, if he
number one,
cured cancer, I might like him a little better. I mean, that would be a cool thing.
there's some that wouldn't, you know that.
I know. I'm
But
just
as
fucking around.
my, did he make the band better? I'm not going there. Okay.
That's
That's when I
opinion.
came in with Van
Yeah.
Halen, and I'm not going there. But I'm saying as a replacement, he's number one in my book. So,
I almost had him on my list, but I really thought you wrote a book about him, Tim, that you would pick him.
oh
So
right, I did do that.
yeah, so plug. There you go.
All right. All right,
The
Alan
red,
Mark.
the
Just
red,
happened
the
to
Why don't
red
you
have
and
do
the
him
your
laying
black,
number?
right?
around.
Yeah, Alan Mark. Why don't you do your number one together?
No, let us go separate. Just
Al, go ahead, man.
Well, you know what mine is, bro. It's I'm wearing the shirt. It's obvious.
Ricky
Neil
Rocket.
coming in. Neil coming in. Yeah, Ricky Rocket coming in the Rush. Just completely took him to new levels. Uh,
Can you
um,
imagine that? That would be funny to try to hear. Never mind.
yeah.
it's ironic that they're starting their tour tonight with a new, with
Yeah.
Annika Niles, and it's going to be successful. It's going to, I mean, there's a lot of sold out shows, and so I mean, this whole run in LA is sold out,
Yeah.
So, but they did that old, it was the whole like they only announced 7 shows in the beginning,
Mhm.
and I think the whole initial fear of missing out thing kind of caught everybody up into it. It almost caught me up into it because I was almost gonna like travel up to either Madison Square Garden or go over to Texas to go see them. But then they finally announced 2 Tampa Bay shows, and I'm gonna be going to them. That's not until November though. So for me to not to look or even see online, I mean, it's gonna be like people are gonna be like, I can't believe they played this and that, and I'm gonna initially see what they're gonna play anyway. But at this point, it's like whatever, dude. I can't avoid it probably. But anyway, Neil coming in on the second album, Fly By Night, and I love the first Rush album.
Yep.
I love that first Rush. It rocks, and but Neil coming in, elevated that band to the band that it became. Man, I mean, Alex and Getty were already looking towards more progressive stuff. I mean, you got to remember when they came out with their first album, that stuff was already written years before that, and they were already playing that, on the road or in clubs and all that stuff, for a few years now. So by the time they recorded that album, I think Galaxy and Getty were already like in a more of a progressive state of mind, writing, and stylistically where they wanted to go. So I mean, I think that version of the band wasn't long to last. I think John really they do the whole health thing, his diabetes and all that. But I think even if he didn't have that, he would have been out of that band. So Neil coming in is just it made Rush, and we all know the heights they went to, and to me that's I mean Rush is my favorite band of all time, and that was gonna be my number one. So Neil Peart coming into Rush is my number one replacement. So go ahead, Mark.
I was going to go off grid for a couple months until he sees the concert. So you won't hear nothing from
Nah,
Analyze.
yeah, it's unavoidable at this
I was gonna
point.
say
You
November.
know,
That's a long time
Yeah.
to.
but on it's funny that you say it, but on when they did their last tour, um, I didn't look at this. I actually purposely did not. I avoided like when I avoided Rush, like kind of stings on Facebook. But when it came to my town, it wasn't like months and months. I mean, it wasn't that far into the tour when they were doing the the R40 tour. Sorry, I can't believe this is the R50.
Yeah.
Um, but I actually was successful. Now I heard of songs here and there, but I didn't know like the whole set list. I didn't purposely didn't look at it because my friend Mark went up to Toronto to see them, and he actually texted me, "I can't believe they played Losing It." I'm like, "Well, thanks, dude." But that's
You
a
guys,
song
are you,
but that's actually a
are
song
you,
that they didn't play that whole. They only played up in Toronto, and then down when they played in when I saw them in Newark, New Jersey, and Madison Square Garden. I don't think they played that too much on the rest of the
Wasn't it four
tour.
times they did
I
it?
think it's four times. They did the two
And I,
times in Toronto, and then the New Jersey and New York shows. That was
yeah.
Yeah.
it. So I was lucky enough to actually see that. Now up there, I think Ben Mink played it
Yep.
with them up
That's right.
there, and down here was
Dinklage.
yeah, Jonathan Dinklage.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway,
are you guys usually set list looker uppers?
I'm not. I don't
No.
look at
No.
set
I
lists.
used to be. Now I don't want to be. Like I didn't look up the Triumph set list because
I didn't look that
I
up either. I was
no.
surprised when I went to go. And I love that show too. I know Tim
Me
went
too.
after me. That was a
Yeah.
great show, man.
I was. I
I
was.
was blown away.
I think I said this on the episode that I did, but that's the way for these older bands to move forward. Don't just put a bunch of no names out there and no original members. If you've got members that oh, did I freeze?
No.
No, you're
No, you're
good.
there.
Okay,
You
Okay.
blinked a little bit,
you
but
guys are just very, very still.
Oh, we're
I
Look,
mean,
look.
yeah, no, it's like it's like okay, yeah, Gil didn't I mean, I don't think his drums were all mic'd up the whole way, but it didn't matter. He made a pretty good front man, I thought.
you got a great voice.
You were still seeing Rick and Gil.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yes, the songs that Rick sang were tuned way down, but they were ridiculously high. So
But they
there's
did it
just
a
no
smart
way
way though, man.
I think that's again, and Russia doing the same thing. They're augmenting, you
Yeah.
know. And I think that's the way for these. It's like we still want to see some of the original guys if they're up for it, but you don't have to play the whole set. Todd Kern's coming in there and singing like Spellbound and like that's brilliant. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was, really well done. And I think that's the way to do it. Like, no, you don't have to kill yourself going out there singing a full set, but you could still go out there and the fans will love it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Mark, why don't you talk about your number one, dude?
well, it's Neil Peart. Duh. It's like that's why I let you said everything I would say. I don't think they became Rush until Fly By Night. That is the Rush I know and love. I like the first album, but I don't like it as much as all the other. I put that as my last because it's not with Neil. Even Hold Your Fire, I love that. I love that album. It has my first Rush show on that tour, so I maybe it's got sentimental value to me that I liked it because I saw those songs played live. It's when a band used to play their new songs live, by the way. Missed
Yeah.
that. And that's Neil Peart is just a phenomenal drummer. He took them in a new direction and they changed like Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks did to Fleetwood Mac. Neil did that with Rush first. So there you go.
Yeah. Not to mention Getty's voice back then was so much. I mean, he had some highs back then. That guy had some range back then, man. Those
Hmm.
first few albums.
He's
I
often
mean,
said that it was basically you play in the clubs and the only way you could be heard is to sing above everything.
that makes sense. Well, my number one, I mean, obviously going to be David Gilmour from Pink Floyd. I mean, we talked about it, how they would not have been nearly as successful without David, in my opinion. Of course, my opinion, of course, and a lot of people do share this opinion with me, whether it's one of the best or the best. I think Comfortably Numb is the best guitar solo ever
I agree.
put down on any kind of song. I think Comfortably Numb is actually a perfect song, I think, all the way through, and the solo just makes it, if you can make it any better than you do. Incredible guitarist. What was his first one? What was the third album? Well, Obscured by Clouds, and then there was Obscured by Cloud. No, what the fuck was the other one?
Metal?
No,
Omaguma?
no. I'm getting old.
More?
I'm forgetting
More?
shit. No, not more.
There's Saucerful Secret. Oh no, I'm sorry. There's
If
Saucerful
that's Four
Secrets.
Secrets, that's what. Well, that was the live one, and yeah, I am thinking of Obscured by Clouds. Excuse me, my mind's a
Okay,
little scrambled right now.
that's an
Your
underrated
your
Um,
album.
mind's
it
obscured by
is.
clouds.
There you go.
Yeah,
It's
I
all
mean, great
meddled.
songs of that album. I mean, his guitar playing, like in songs like Free For and stuff like that, it just
yeah.
took him, I think, to another level. Yeah, sorry, I got my titles confused, which is nothing new. I always get names and shit fucked up, but yeah, I mean, talk about another divided how people's opinion on Pink Floyd, Roger Waters camp and David Gilmour
Oh
camp.
yeah.
Well, at least it was for the longest time. Now people fucking can't stand Roger Waters because well, I mean, he's an asshole. I'll say that. He's not a nice person, but there's always been those two camps. So it's like, we can't like Pink Floyd after Roger Waters left this and that. It's not the same, blah, blah, blah. They sound like David Gilmour solo. What the fuck are they supposed to sound like? It's David Gilmour leading you know what I'm saying? It's like, I
Yeah.
thought it was ridiculous with that, but
Well,
absolutely.
well, so I'm guilty of saying that sometimes that they're, because David Gilmour was the sound, but Roger Waters was the songwriter. He did write the lyrics and the songs and all that stuff. So, without those albums with David Gilmour, and I love them albums, it was missing an ingredient. It's but
Well,
Roger wasn't. His solo albums were nowhere near as good as
no,
the
not even
the
close.
Dave led, in my
Yeah.
opinion. It's one of those things where like I think Roger needed David more than David needed Roger, maybe. You know,
Yeah, they're
because
better. They're better as a whole than apart.
yeah.
Absolutely, I'll agree with you on
So
that. Yeah. All right. Well,
anyway,
that's anybody got any honorables they want to talk about,
I
or are
don't have
we
any
good?
honorables,
Or
man. I just did that list and
Nope.
that was it.
I have two. I got Mike Howe from Metal Church. I thought him in coming in the band after David Wayne was
I mean, Mick
incredible.
Taylor was one. Well, Mick Taylor was on my list originally, but I took that off for John Sykes. But that's really
John
the only
Sykes and
extra.
Steve Perry are really good ones for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Then I have
Sammy, Tommy, and Steve were on my
Yeah.
list at one
Then I
point.
have Angela Gossow from Arch Enemy. I'm a huge Arch Enemy fan. I thought she replaced the Johan Leva in Arch Enemy. I thought she did a great job with them.
Yeah.
But I thought Alyssa White Gloves did too from your neck of the woods, ain't she, Tim? Is she Canadian?
I don't know.
Alyssa White? You don't know? You know them? Okay, that's fine. But yeah, I mean, those are the honorable mentions that I have. Nobody else got any?
Nope.
We good?
I'm good, man.
Just
So
have
Tim,
Al promote their stuff.
what's going
Okay,
on with
sorry.
you, Tim?
Well, I'm not sure when this is going to air, but I'll give you guys the rundown. I've got a seventh book that's coming out, which is pretty crazy to me. It still boggles my mind because like 4 years ago, I was just getting around to putting my first one out. So, and it's a band that we've been talking about. 'Cause we've been talking about the Triumph show. Well, the band that's been opening for them is April Wine, and this is my new
Yeah.
book.
There it
Um,
is.
on
Yeah.
record, the April Wine album review. This is just a review copy. This is not for resale. And as I'm filming this, we're still in the process of proofing it. But by the time this airs, hopefully it'll be on
Well, it's
Amazon.
coming out.
All my books are on Amazon, and I
I think it's coming
appreciate.
out tonight, though. Is that a
Yeah, it's
problem?
coming on in about an hour.
Well, I'm
Not a
I'm
problem,
doing a
Tim?
big reveal tomorrow on my show
Okay.
Okay.
anyway, so
Yeah.
it's going to be out there. And I've done a teaser on all my socials, so
Yeah.
some people know about it, some people don't. But It's taken me 7 books to finally write about a band from my home country, but better late than never.
Yeah. Cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
Al,
that's
what's new
cool.
with the Black Spinner Circle, man? And
Well, we celebrated June 6th yesterday, 2026, 666 day. We
oh,
had our
nice.
we had
Yeah.
our top we had our top six satanic bands, satanic albums, and satanic movies.
Oh,
We had
nice.
Count Ralphus. We had Count Ralphus on. It was a fun episode. And normally we do our show like during the week at Wednesdays, but I had to do it on the date like yesterday because it wouldn't have worked any other day.
Right?
I had to do it on 6/6/26. So that was our show yesterday. We're gonna go back to. I think we might move our show back to Tuesday nights. It's just a better. We can get more guests on a Tuesday. Some of the guys that we love to have on, they're always busy on Wednesdays, and it just. But we're flexible. I mean, we might shift between Wednesday and Tuesday. It's just we've been off for a while though because this past couple of weeks has been so busy with me with my daughter graduating high school, and my father-in-law came down from Pennsylvania, and it was just a busy couple of weeks. So we're back though, and we're doing shows. We don't know what's coming up this week. Andy's brainstorming ideas, so I don't even know what he wants to do yet. But anyway, we're back to Tuesdays or Wednesdays. So we'll always announce our show on social. So but that's us, man. We're back. So
Awesome. All right, Mark, why don't you take us out, dude?
All right. Make sure and check out Freeform Rock Podcast. Me, Jerry, the Mooger Fooger. New episode up right now, A Social Distortion, Somewhere Between Heaven and Hell. An album that Jerry, no
come here,
spoilers.
come here, come here, come here,
Love you
come
guys.
here.
Oh,
Here's
hold on.
Kayla. She graduated high school. She's 18
Hey,
years old now.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
I'm hoping to have her on an episode one day again. So
Anytime.
I was
She's
gonna
welcome to
ask
come
if
on
you
our
had
show too.
pets.
not yet.
With you.
Okay.
Okay. She's
Yeah.
asking me if I fed the pets yet.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, go
All right.
feed them.
All right, guys. You guys have a great Sunday. I'll
Thank
talk
you
to you
guys
guys
for being
later.
on.
Hey,
Bye,
thanks for
guys.
having me
both
on,
for
man.
being
Thanks for having me
Appreciate it.
on.
All right,
Cheers.
Bye,
man.
Bye-bye.
guys.
Bye.
Later.